I need to put some new walls in.
I don't think I really need
How's your get fiddle
a
coming?
beer sign in my
Good. I
house.
got.
I don't think I'll ever start one, Ray. Yours has been such a project. I think I'll go back to working on the boat.
We have a severe thunderstorm watch for Tarrant County that expires in 5 hours.
It looked like a big wall of thunderstorms. I was going to ride my bike over here, but
A lot of lightning.
yeah. Now there's a lot of red up in Denton. I guess there's tornado warning or.
Oh, really? So when we walk out of here, we may be somewhere else. Is that what we're saying?
Possibly.
That would be cool. Well, we're certainly not in Kansas.
As long as we're all in
We
one
just feel
piece
some
somewhere
shaking.
else.
Right.
We end up somewhere else. Let's see here.
I hope it's the chocolate factory.
That would be a great idea for a video. To have the Temple of I spin up in a tornado.
Show somewhere else and be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do some cheesy
We're
effects
just in here.
with like miniatures, just like
Yeah.
Every week it's somewhere new, like
go off on it. You know?
Quantum Leap or
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
We'll build a whole video intro for the show, and
Mhm.
yeah, every week it'll be somewhere different. Like where we are.
Saturday Night Live did a good one when that dude was on that. He looks into the mirror and he's like, "Oh shit!" I think Robot Chicken did one
There's
too.
no place like home. There's no place like
Looks into the mirror and he's putting on a bustier and shit, and there's some big dude in the other room talking shit.
home. So I noticed it says wolf dick on your whiteboard there. Is that a...
I don't know what's going on with that.
You know.
That's what happens when you let people just start loose with a pen. You know, it's supposed to be freedom of expression, and look, they just immediately go to penises and clitori.
Yeah, it looks like a
And boobs.
it's like a
Starfish.
butthole
I like this.
clitoris.
Yeah,
I like
there's
this.
a butthole.
If the clit was a butthole.
And then people just started autographing things too. I don't understand. I guess they
I
were
think you're looking at it upside down, Ray. I think that,
autographing their dicks.
I think that's anatomically
Okay.
correct.
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the other way.
It's from
Yeah,
Face down.
I'd never
From
seen a
behind.
butthole clit.
All right, you want to do this?
When chicks are like that,
Let's
you
start
don't
this
want
up.
to go down on them right away.
Right.
You want to, you know.
I want to make
block
sure
your
this
attack.
doesn't kill us.
What is this?
All right, here we go.
I could be a cult leader. I could get people to follow me.
This episode of the brought to you by
Guys note.
and
Victor. I put an extension
and
on those if
Plastic
you need them.
Object.
This program contains
Think I'm good?
graphic material,
Okay.
including offensive language.
Okay.
Viewer discretion is advised.
But you're missing the whole intro now.
What's up? Hey, how's it going? What
See?
did you say? When? Just now, man, when you walked past.
I didn't have an FTW track.
About what?
Oh, why?
Oh, we're working on
You
that.
said someone's toking some reefer. No, I said
I
something about
smoke
smelling some
marijuana,
pot.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's just an observation. Oh, an observation, huh? Well, who the hell are you, man? Isaac fucking Newton? Well, guess what, genius? I'm the one smoking marijuana, motherfucker. You got a problem with that? No, of course not. Why'd you say that, Chief? Come on, man. Don't let your mouth write a check your butt can't cash. So I'm blazing with my friends, so I'm a fucking pothead, man. What's it to you, huh? Huh? What's the matter,
Why
pussy?
does he hit
Out
his
of
head?
observations? Why don't you observe while I punch your teeth down your fucking throat? Come on, dude. Relax.
Maybe his head sounded like a pot.
Maybe so, yeah. Clunk.
Hey, I'll be watching you, Newton. I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. It's like we're almost out of beer.
What is that?
Mountain of smoke. Show number 397. It is November 11th. Or no, it's November 24th. Sorry, it's not the 11th. It's 24th.
Our last show was 302.
302. Almost 100 weeks ago.
Welcome
That's
to
how time flies.
2022,
Yeah,
February 19th,
I don't think so.
2022.
You've done smoked way too much because we're in the future. If that's happening.
Everyone, they'll be like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah. What is wrong?
Was this done?
If I had it to do over again, I probably would have got a lot more done this summer if I could. start back in February.
Right.
I
Funny, I think it was,
got a grasp on a little plan we jump on.
Well,
Didn't take long for that to get messed up, huh?
it's Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Are you guys ready for that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're 2 days away.
Yeah.
We can't congregate with anybody. You're not supposed to go see your family.
I'm not supposed to be on podcasts face to face.
You're not supposed to be shopping. Yeah, you're not supposed to be on a
Why we're
podcast.
actually doing
I'm wearing a
this.
mask.
I'm
in the
actually
studio.
Skyped
We're
in here,
doing-
guys.
yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear
we're-
me?
Yeah, you sound fantastic.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Yes. Ray, coming from the International Space Station. Ray,
Yes.
can you hear us there, Ray? Ray, coming in?
That person that's sitting next to you is just a person I sent in my
Cardboard
absence.
cutouts.
I'm just glad.
A hologram,
His name is Jeff.
like those trap stars.
We have the
He
technology.
is making
now.
$12.50 an hour, so let's get this
Get to
going.
it. Get to it. And y'all made it here just before it looks like the bottom's going to fall this guy because it's a Tuesday,
Of course.
and it seems like every Tuesday it's got a storm through here.
When last time we were
Rain.
here,
I
it
know.
rained torrentially the whole time we were in here.
Yeah, I think there's
It
been
did?
some
It
methinks
did.
nights that we were here that has just been cold and rainy.
Another thing that happened last time y'all were here that also happened this time around is Stubbs ain't here,
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes.
and I
That's
kind of
because he doesn't like us.
that's one of the
It's
reasons.
become apparent.
Duly noted.
Duly noted.
The other thing is cancel culture. I posted this on Facebook on our little feed that he was canceled this week. We got a bunch of emails in,
Oh,
and a bunch of people don't like his attitude about things, so they decided they would cancel him.
I
So
blocked
this is his 1 week
Hey.
protest. You did block it.
it's only fair. Let the public speak.
Yes.
Right.
They're
No, it'd be kind of obvious why he's not here in the climate we're in. So just put 2 and 2 together. Another quarantined week.
he's dead.
Yes, he's dead.
Oh, Stubbs.
Why'd you have to go?
Hmm.
So if you'll kick back, I'm going to play some in memorial music, and we'll just think about his
Remember.
life.
Yeah.
All right. Moment of silence.
There he is. He's speaking
There.
right there.
From the
Thunder
spirit
coming through.
world, child is, I can't see.
He's with us. He's with us now.
Well, I guess I should introduce who you guys are.
We talked about doing the Mickey Mouse
Oh,
Club.
do the Mickey Mouse.
No,
do your Mickey
no,
Mouse
no,
Club
no,
intro.
We'll do it.
Here's what I'll do. Here's
We
what I'll
already
do.
did that. If you
Joining
weren't
me
here for
tonight-
that,
When
that
we
was-
bring the sweaters,
that was for
the
us.
cardigans will bust it
That was
out.
for us.
Since Stubbs can't be here tonight, I decided I would
Let's
bring
spend
in
the rest of the night talking about
FTW.
him.
and just saw you guys on Saturday night. And if you would,
Which was a blast.
it was a
It
blast.
was such a good time.
I want to get into that.
Oh man, that stage out there is awesome. It's
We
big.
got to play outside.
Always sounds
Oh
good up
man, play nice and loud.
Good
and be
loud.
outside.
Fog still looked cool.
Yeah, y'all actually had decent
Yeah,
fog.
yeah.
And the whole night of music was great.
Responsible use of the fog machine.
It was safe and responsible use of the
Yeah.
fog machine.
I get that speech every
There's a
time.
line.
I get that lesson every time where I'm warned and initiated to, like, you realize that again, safe and responsible use of the fog machine.
What does that
And
entail?
I never listened to that advice.
You
but
plug it
I
in, you
get
put the
that,
juice in there, and you go, right?
We've
Well,
got
it
it
has-
like an industrial
It has,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have the biggest fog machine. We've talked about this last time.
Y'all
We're
did.
the same show again.
Yeah, we
We're
got
the
the
same
biggest
show.
portable one you can get, man. It'll crank some out.
Yeah.
Makes
Just
like
go
a,
to town. Who cares?
Well, we do.
It'd be nice for those people that are up on,
The best is when it was like coming out the soffit of the roof at the grotto.
Oh,
And like
No, that was
looked like the
awesome.
building on
Yeah.
fire. The aardvark where they'd open the garage doors and it would like. Whoo,
Yeah, we've had
go
a
out
couple
and
of
fill
them where the
street.
police that are the local beat police come running in to check and make sure.
everything.
Yeah.
Had that in Sanson Park and down there and
Yeah,
at the
oh, yeah.
Aardvark.
Mhm.
And
One of the first shows I saw y'all at was at the Grotto, and I showed up there to take photos, and it was like, well, this is fucking dumb because I'm not gonna be able to shoot anything because it's just
Right.
smoke. And then I
Oh.
had to run outside because I had a phone call, and that was the night I saw it just coming out the side of the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
It's like
Casey always said the same
It's
thing.
amazing.
She was like, And she was like, "You can't take pictures at your show."
All right.
No, it's no good.
Yeah.
It's not even worth even trying.
Well, again, like we said on the last show, that's part of our gig. We
Yeah,
want you to envision sitting in your bedroom with your headphones on,
Smoking out.
record player on, and you got your eyes closed. You don't have to. There's
Got
nothing
your
to
fog
see.
machine running.
Yeah.
There's nothing to see. You know. I mean, whatever you need to fog it out. But there's nothing to see. You know, we just.
That's why we use it in my other band
other
too. So
than Fred.
you don't
Fred
have to
was
look
a
at
nice,
us.
Fred was a nice addition.
Fred was great.
That was
It was a
pretty
good
amazing.
surprise. What a cool bird, huh?
I thought that thing was just gonna fucking explode and do like a puff of feathers.
The fourth
but
beetle. He
man.
asked me, "What you say? Is that bird deaf?" And I was like, well,
Probably
It
by
is
now.
Okay, so that bird, I've seen that bird everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Dave's bird.
You know, Dave's bird
Yeah.
was
Fred.
like a permanent addition to the Tin Panther there for a while.
doesn't surprise me.
That bird
Sounds like
has to
rain.
be deaf, right?
It has to be. It has to be because there's that band Hatebeak. Have you ever heard of that
Mhm.
band? They could never.
This is gonna be a joke.
No, it's
Yeah,
real. Well,
it's
it's real.
some hate beat.
Yeah, they're on that 7-inch with K9us, the Pitbull
Yeah.
fronted band on the other side. But Hatebeak, they said the guy was like, no, we could never play live because the parrot, like it would just explode, like from the pressure, like it wouldn't be able to I mean, not literally explode, but the parrot would die.
Yeah, would die.
Because of the extreme sound waves and pressure. And I'm like, man,
Well, you
what's
could
up
put
with
him over the
Fred?
top
Makes
of
no
like the
sense.
cabinet. You don't have to set him in front of the
Didn't
speaker.
Marilyn
Yeah.
Manson put a chicken in the kick drum
And-
of the drummers? Like the
God, I
remember
don't
they
know.
did that?
That's another good
Yeah.
urban legend of
Right,
the Manson
right.
world.
Right. Well, I've seen Marilyn Manson, and there was a live chicken at the show, and so
Huh.
Did it survive?
I've this bird did not survive.
Aw, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
But that was a long time ago, and I
Okay.
never laid
That
hands
definitely
on it.
one ups the fish and the toms, the goldfish and the toms.
It
of
sure
Keith
does.
the Moon.
Oh.
Like, I don't even understand how that would work. Like, you would get no sound out of that tom.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
and those fish
Well,
probably
maybe it was like
weren't digging that either.
acrylic
Right.
ring, and the fish were like swimming around
Yeah.
it wasn't completely full. I don't know, maybe.
Well,
Maybe
you
it
keep
was
the
just
top
bullshit.
head tight and the bottom one a little more floppy.
Maybe it was just bullshit for TV, you know. how
Maybe it
They
was.
never played live,
Like,
so
no one really had goldfish in their high heels, did they? In the 70s. I mean, come on.
Well, I never did.
I mean, you
But
take
I
like
was
4 or 5 steps and that
8.
goldfish is dead.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it would seem like it would just shake the
You know, I gotta
fuck out
admit,
of
I
that thing
never
in there.
thought of that ever.
Like
ever.
Bootsy Collins or something used to have those crazy
Mhm.
heels that would have goldfish in them. There's no way you could walk in
I
those.
bet he had to change those goldfish every time.
Every
you know?
time.
You
He
know,
probably had a
I've
guy
had-
falling around with a bag of goldfish from
Yeah.
the pet store and was like,
in the
"Yo, we
trunk.
got to change this out."
Hold still. We gotta wait for the water to get like the same temperature.
Yeah.
Marvin,
Nowadays they'd be
go out to the trunk and get my bag, Marvin.
Go get some more.
nowadays they'd be hiding from PETA and OSHA and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, this Scientology.
Oh well, he's coming. Hell, yeah.
Is he coming after him?
Probably.
Let's talk
Probably.
about that.
Scientology?
Oh,
Oh.
Tom
I've been
Cruise.
watching that Nexium
Just
thing on HBO.
I want to watch that. Is it good?
That's pretty good.
he must
just-
work out.
Get through the first episode. The first episode, you're like, dude, I hope the whole motherfucking series isn't this fucking slow. But they're just like setting it up, and it's like, oh, these people are pretty normal. Everything's on the up and up. And then after that, like the second episode, and then subsequently,
It just goes full sex
like,
cult after that.
Holy fuck! Like what a bunch of nudnicks, you know.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I keep jingling these keys.
Oh, no, you're all good.
Put these on the table.
Well, at
Yeah.
least you're doing it slower and faster, which we're used to.
Yeah.
Psh, bucket of fish. Oh man. Drummer jokes can't be beat.
So yeah, Saturday night was a great night. I was trying to think. I think that's the first time I've seen like good heavy music since.
Somebody said it was the first
February.
heavy show at Lola's, but I mean, I don't know.
It may
I don't know.
be. It may actually be.
I mean, I don't know.
It was. I was surprised by the crowd. You know, it was big enough to where it was like, oh, there's a lot of people here, but like everyone was just kind of chilling at tables. It wasn't like a full.
No.
You know,
Everybody spaced out good.
it was.
and
Yeah,
well.
it was almost. You know, not quite like being in England in the '60s when you watch those concerts where everyone's sitting down, but everyone was sitting down except for.
It's pretty awesome listening to that kind of music in dinner theater. You know,
Yeah.
you had your own table and
Yeah.
Some nachos and some drinks.
Waiters and waitresses coming by
Right.
with their
Like, why?
towels and silver platters.
Why,
Just-
why hasn't
Champagne,
this place existed
caviar.
before? You know.
That should have been a mandate. You should have told everybody you have to stay seated and clap like this.
We're gonna be serving steaks and a vegetarian option, and everyone's gonna be home by 10:30. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Well, that was pretty cool. At the end of the night, loading everything up, and it was like,
Yeah.
11:30.
It's not 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
I
How
got
cool is
home
that?
before midnight. Like
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
in my house and
No.
took my shoes off.
That's
and sat
crazy.
down. I was like, wow, that was nice.
Yeah.
I guess we're old now, where it's like, fuck, I wish we could start the shows at 6 every.
Mhm.
I mean, theoretically, that's hard to do though on a weeknight or you can't.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, oh, the show starts at 7 in Dallas on a Tuesday. I'm like, man,
Right.
I think I'm just like thinking about getting
Yeah.
off of work at fucking 7 in Fort Worth. Like, I can't make that show.
No.
like playing at some of the metal clubs around.
Mm-hmm.
We got you guys on at 7.
Yeah.
Load-ins at
I don't-
4.
That's right. I don't think none of us are off
Playing
work
for
yet.
the bartender,
think we're
the
gonna be
sound
there.
guy, and a couple of girlfriends.
That's what used to make me crazy about Tomcats. Tomcats
We've
would be
been there
like,
before,
on a Friday night, they'd be like, well, load-in's 5 o'clock. You do realize most people don't get off work until 5 o'clock on a Friday. And
Right. We're not the touring
Hey, if
band
you want
coming
that-
in. We're the
we're-
local.
If you
we're
want
the
that
local
40
supporter.
bucks, you'll be there.
that's what that's what I always said was like, no, we'll get there when we get there, but it will be before we play. You don't have
Right.
anything
A
to
long
worry
time
about.
ago,
We'll
we
be
quit
there.
letting
It'll
sound
be-
people tell us what we're gonna to dictate what we're gonna do.
Man, Joe was awesome, and it's funny because every time we have a great sound man, I remember the first time we met them, they hated us.
They all hate us at
It
first.
was like we'd meet a sound guy,
do.
and they were just like, "Oh no way, you gonna put all that shit up there?" Like, we've heard
Seriously,
that,
like you
and,
need 18 cabinets to play tonight.
And then they would just hate it.
Yes.
But then after we'd played a few times and they'd worked with us, they were, they were like, okay.
They realize they ain't
Basically, they
shit
were
for
just
to
like, well,
do.
these guys are gonna just do what they do, and
Yeah.
fucking-
They're like, shit, I don't have to
The
mic
best one
anything. I
was-
don't have to do anything. Just
best-
run a vocal mic
Well, yeah,
and
yeah,
chill.
yeah. Well, so I'm the one they
I
always
was
would come
thinking on
talk
the
to.
one
Yeah,
this earlier.
they would always come talk to me. They wouldn't fucking go talk to either one of them. They'd always come talk to me. Every time they'd come talk to me.
Or when they did come talk to me, I remember one time he was like, "Well, we don't need to run anything or anything through the monitors,
I
just
guess you
one
gotta
mic,
play
right?"
that
And I was just like, "Well, I guess you're the only one getting fucking paid here. No
Yeah.
sense in you doing your job. Why don't we just fuck it all, you know?"
He came right back up on stage like 2 minutes later, and
Man,
he was like,
mic'd
"Should I-
everything.
Should I mic everything?" And I was like, I don't know. I mean, what are you getting paid for?
You're the
Looked
only
over
one
at him,
making
and he
200
looked over at
bucks.
John, and he's like, "Yep."
Yeah, you don't necessarily even have to turn them on. Just
Just make it look like you're doing something.
Just do the hard part, right? Yeah. Do the hard
I was
part.
gonna say, and did he?
We'll do the rest.
He did.
Oh, he did.
Did you check the faders? They're all down at the bottom, like barely
I
registered.
don't know how it sounded
No,
out there.
no,
It sounded
no.
great on stage. Everyone had a good
It sounded
time.
good out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
the other night?
No, this
Yeah.
was at I think that was one of our Grotto shows, and the dude hit the lights, and it was awesome. He really worked the lights
Man,
good. It was
yeah, we
fun.
had some good grotto shows.
Love
you know?
that place.
We always got paid.
Missed the
Yeah,
grotto.
it was
The
fun.
grotto was fun.
Yeah.
The Grotto was,
It was
really
great.
fair with their money too.
Like I said, we got
Yeah.
paid every time.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We loved playing there.
Yeah,
People
you
were like,
pay
"Well,
out the
okay,
sound
yeah."
man and the door guy and take the rest. They take the bar. It was a pretty fair deal.
Yeah, I loved the freaking grotto, and that was great. Saturday night, who built this lineup of everybody
Well,
that was
Dave
there?
contacted me and was like, "Hey, do you guys want to put a show together with us, Lotus Sutra, and yeah, I was like, yeah, we're in. And so
It was a while back.
he
too.
called me, he hit me up, and he was like, hey, I got a guy, U-Boat, going to be playing, and then
Which I
It
didn't
was
realize
even-
that was U-Boat
yeah, it was
at
even
first. I was like,
later.
what the hell is going on?
Right,
All these
right,
songs are
right.
They've-
death and morbid terror.
I think they've morphed a little bit as the lineup changes and Joel presses on.
Mhm.
I was like, what is okay?
Yeah.
How about the old dude? Was
William
that
Brian
fucking?
Massey the
Oh,
third,
Brian.
dude.
Okay,
Did he
so
slay? I was
that
fucking.
was-
He had me
I
thinking of
got
short
a shit
stories.
ton
All,
of videos of him.
I got. He
Right
got me
on,
thinking
right
of
on,
short stories all day today. I was like, he needs to put like one more line or two more lines in that, and it would just fucking really kill. But man, it's funny. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I've known him for
amazing.
quite a while now. He's been around for
That was
a
excellent.
while.
That was
I've
so
got
badass.
a few of his books at home, and it's just all that stuff, just stream of consciousness kind of poetry and short
Yeah.
stories and shit. And
There needs to be more of that mixed in, I think, in shows. A little
Oh,
spoken
right,
word
right, right.
we
between
used to
sets
bring
and
him
stuff.
out during Stoogephilia all the time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Right
he would
on. Right
get
on.
off work and come over and read some shit.
Wow.
This-
Yeah,
that was
Dave-
greatness. I love
Dave
that.
Cook put all that
Mm.
together. He had the end with Royal Sons.
Oh, Blake.
Oh, Blake.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
was like, he was like, hey, I can get us something booked, and yeah, he put that all together. So we were stoked.
It was a good night all the way
Oh,
around.
We
It sounded
were stoked.
Like
fun.
Lotus Sutra, how good they sounded too. Like,
I think originally they planned on headlining, and I told him, I was like, well, we're just gonna blast the Fog Machine and just make you guys like not want to play after us. And he was like a couple weeks later, he's like, how about we do this, and then Brian, and then we'll play, and then you guys headline the show. I was like, that sounds good to me. I like that.
they sounded
That was all
really
his idea.
good too.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was all his idea.
We got a couple good
They sounded good.
good videos of it posted too. That came out cool.
Oh yeah.
Who shot that long one over to the side?
I think that's
Was
Nick.
that
I
your
did the
phone?
one, yeah.
Mm.
I did.
I
The
was
one.
wondering.
Yeah.
That sounded the
that's
best
the
too because you didn't get any of the
full show.
crowd noise in
Right.
there.
And that's on your YouTube?
Yep. At Knives Made by Nick.
Knives Made My Dick
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Go subscribe, man. I need 1,000 followers to do live streaming video.
I
'Cause you used to
subscribe.
be able
Yeah.
to do the live stream.
That's
to YouTube,
true.
And then they changed the metrics, and they were like, "Oh, you gotta have 1,000
Yeah.
followers." And I
They
subscribed
screwed
to
all
yours
of us up.
yesterday.
They
Right,
totally
right,
screwed
right,
all
right.
of us up.
I wasn't-
Instagram's my fucking my rocket, my growth is fucking crazy good there, but I post something, and if I post it on Facebook, I'll get like 12 likes.
Because Facebook fucks everything
Yeah,
up.
and-
But
and-
they own
On
Instagram. That's what's
Instagram,
weird.
it's like,
Yeah.
I get tons and tons.
Yeah. So
Sometimes famous
I always
people
like
quote on it.
Picture
comment on
books way better than word books. So
it. Yeah.
I naturally kind of
Well,
gravitated
Instagram
towards
works good.
Instagram because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, look, picture. And it was like, at first it was just everybody's pictures.
and food.
Yeah.
Remember when
yeah.
you can only put one picture on there?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a day.
I still do.
Or an
I don't-
hour or something like
I
that?
just remember you
I
could only
don't
put
like
one
to do
picture.
the-
Like you couldn't put multiple pictures.
I don't like to
Oh,
do
yeah,
them
'cause it would
all.
delete them.
Everybody got the apps that you could do the
Yeah.
split where you could do like 4 pictures in one.
I still do. I like to just do one at a time, and then about like one every 4 months. One photo.
That's your.
So you're
that's
still
your-
living in the old Instagram world like that's the rules.
Totally.
I can only put up one photo this
I
month.
love it. I love
What
because
should it
then
be?
it means more to me. I mean, it like I know like you're running a business.
I post like 5
know.
times a day on a good
Yeah.
day.
If I come across a good picture and it's like, oh, I went on a little trip or I was
yeah.
like down by the lake and saw something weird or dead or not dead. I don't have anything dead on my Instagram.
Does it
It's
stand by
mostly
me?
a bunch
You
of
go on
fucking
What does this
toys.
turn into?
When
Yeah.
you go on your trips to New Orleans, there was like the pictures of cool like houses, churches, and like corners and intersections.
shit
and
just
you got
walking
some
down
cool
the
shit on
street,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
catching your eye, I'm not a photographer, but I like to take pictures of
But he
things.
plays one on TV.
Everybody's a photographer
yeah,
these days.
well,
Everybody's got a camera in their pocket.
I played one in a Broadway play, Nick. It's a little bit different. I would say it's harder.
It is. Did you fully submerge yourself into the role?
Of course.
Like you just
I'm a method.
Oh,
I'm a
completely
method.
drank
Yeah.
completely method.
yeah.
Like
He would
you
come
are
to
a
rehearsal
photographer.
and he was incorrigible.
He's
He was
like,
I even
I can't play
listened
drums.
to nothing but
Couldn't
Method
stop him.
Man the whole time I was working
Driven.
on this method acting. It was
of
great.
being a photographer in a Broadway play.
Yeah.
Yes.
He kept telling us to move around. He was focusing all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, get over here. No.
Yeah. Did he walk around this little loop?
Well, he bitched about the lights the most.
Light meter.
Yeah, he bitched about the lights the most.
The Kelvin of the lights. This is not
Well,
white
apparently,
balance
like
in here.
Christmas lights hanging from the ceiling are not like
No.
professional or
Yeah.
anything.
Well,
LEDs cause hot spots. You're like,
I'm
damn these
old
LEDs.
school. I like to make
Where are the
my own
halogens?
film.
Oh,
Not just develop
candles.
it. I like to make it first.
from the tree, like you start,
Yeah.
and then you also make the plastic. And
Oh, I'm
everything.
waiting down there in Thailand and South America, and the bonus is though I get like some of this other stuff. It makes drugs, and
I was about to get into that chemical process. Like,
yeah.
how are you getting these chemicals to develop
Jesus
the
Christ,
film?
Ray.
Is that what is that what they squeeze out of the
You
coke?
guys thought I was just a graphic designer. I've been making my own film for years.
The drummer's always the wild man in the bunch. you know?
Right. Yeah.
So let's get into your knife world.
Okay.
How long you been doing this?
6 years.
6 years. And how many have you made? You go to your website and there's like, I don't know.
Oh,
14.
No. My website is like.
And I know that's way behind.
Oh yeah, I haven't updated that in like 2 years. So,
Yeah, and you've got like, I don't know, 200 on there.
oh yeah. No,
Really?
yeah, no. I make like
Instagram's a better platform. Just
right.
put the
right now,
photos up.
last couple
Contact
years
me if
I've
you like
made-
the shit.
Last couple years, I've made like 300 knives a year.
Damn.
250, 300.
They all
That's like
serial
one
numbered
knife a day.
in numerical
almost.
order of when you started?
Oh no.
Nah.
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all. No.
I've made a bunch.
How long does it take you to do a knife?
The easy answer is like some of them are 6 hours, some of them are 50 hours. So, yeah.
We're losing video signal here. Let's see. So summer. What causes a knife to be 50 hours?
It takes a lot more work.
Bigger
more
knife.
parts, more processes.
Very big
I
knife.
mean,
We tried to make these in school.
a simple
And
like
got in trouble.
full tang with just a wood handle and 2 pins is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. I mean, you can make a whole knife out of 5 pieces.
And that's like
So,
15 minutes worth of work.
no, like say all told, that's probably 4 hours to 6 hours. Something simple. You could crank through them.
See, in shop, when I was in junior high, our instructor told us we could make knives.
Right?
And what he did was he gave us a bunch of old files
Oh,
that were broken and torn up,
yeah.
and we had to heat them up and bang them out
Forge 'em out.
and forge them out. And we did that. And mine came out all funky. I don't know. It used to be around here somewhere, but it took freaking forever. It took
Right.
well, you're only doing an hour a day, and you can only get it so hot,
Yeah.
one period class or whatever. It took freaking forever.
Yeah.
And
Well, files aren't easy to work with.
that's true.
That's not a. They're already hard.
Like a tool, a file.
So yeah,
Like a file.
It's already been.
Yeah, like they're already
hardened up.
hard. So just starting out with that's pretty tough.
It was ridiculous.
Mm.
And then we just kept hammering
Kept
and going.
and going and going until it turned into
The
something.
good old
And it
days
finally
when
turned
you
into
could make
something.
knives in school.
Yeah. I don't think we were supposed to, though. The more I look back on this, I mean, we're in junior high. We're going through our crazy hormoned adolescent where we hate everything anyway.
We were smart enough not
we're
to
being
say
punk
shit,
rock.
though. You know, like, hey, Mom, check out this knife. No, fuck no.
I think
Or-
at ours they'd even let you make a sword, but they wouldn't put an edge on it.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Trader's Village switchblade without the spring. But then you bought the spring
Then
from
you
the
bought the spring.
the guy next door for 15 cents or whatever.
This motherfucker. It's just Nick and I now on the YouTube feed because
You just worked it.
this fucking hub I got has died. I hate it.
No longer hubbing.
It's no longer hubbing. I don't know.
You're not
Hit
holding
Amazon up; they'll have it
You're
out
not holding
here.
your tongue right. Is what
Before we
the
Yeah,
wrap
by
up.
the end of the night,
I've been
right?
knocking
Good,
on
yeah.
the door here.
No, this will be an Amazon night. This is why people need to donate to the show
Candygram.
so our shit works. Now we're back. Everybody's back.
Candygram.
So, do you have any favorites
Uh,
or any cool paths this has led you down making knives? Are you slowly becoming like a samurai sword creator where you're sought out?
No, well, no. I mean, I don't make swords.
Well, I meant knives wise though.
But
Are you sought out for
okay,
your
you
knife
asked
work?
me like 4 questions there. So
I did.
my favorite knife is the Huckleberry, which is the one I carry every day, and it's a beast, and it's one that takes like 50 hours to do. And I've sold a bunch of those to some cool cats that they enjoy the shit out of them. It's taken me down some cool paths. I've had some cool stuff happen. I got a bunch of stuff coming up, stuff for TV and Aquaman at my house, which was fucking rad. I'll tell you the
That's
truth,
weird.
Man. A bunch of we were worried about what was gonna happen.
Yeah, did you call for him?
But there was a lot of discussion about all of that. To be honest, the fun thing was my kids were impressed. Because your kids don't think anything you do is cool.
No,
But
they never
do.
do.
As much as I do, to be honest, Brian and I were talking about this today. He's like, man, you just fucking, like you play in a band, you tattooed for 20 years, you make knives, you're a celebrity. I'm like, I'm not a celebrity at all, But yeah, then you have a celebrity show up at your house, and you're just like, but it was awesome. I mean, to be
And
honest,
it's
the dude was
someone-
cool as hell.
Yeah.
And my kids, were like, yeah, that was cool. And, and even they don't even want to show
They
it.
had
but
to
they were
admit
like,
it.
The 14-year-old was like, it's funny because
They didn't like show up with action figures and stuff, did they? And be like, sign these.
No,
No, they were cool with them.
No, but the boys got a picture. Heinz and Griffin got a picture with him, and then Heinz is 14, and he's like, he asked his mom, and he's like, "Can I get a picture without my little brother in it?" He wanted a picture without, because
Yeah.
14 and 8, they're like, they're brothers, so they're like, Team Huff, but at the same
Yeah.
time, they're like, "Rah!" just constantly choking each other in a battle.
So, like the last part of the 9 questions I asked you a minute ago, being sought out. Have people been seeking you out for knives, seeing you on Instagram and what you're putting out?
Yeah,
Because your knives are beautiful.
Well,
They're
I
so
like I say,
badass.
it's weird that it literally started out. I mean, John's been there from the beginning. Dre's been there from the beginning. We've been in a band 11 years, so they've seen all of this. But it was like literally like making knives that I just gave away,
Mhm.
and then I made knives that like my friends bought, and I had really good friends because they bought crappy knives because it was right at the beginning, and
Do you look at those and go, "Hey,
I do.
Let
and
me
every
try
time
that
one
out."
comes
with you.
back, and I'm like.
He used to take
like,
them home
God
and
damn it.
No, right now, literally people show up with one that's old, and I'm like, oh god, I need to completely regrind it, and but at this point, I'm like, you got 15 minutes? Hang on a second, and go over there and just completely freehand a knife out, just completely change the geometry and completely dial it out, and just like nothing. And obviously, when I started, they took way longer than they do now.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's cool to be able to do that. But yeah, some of them were rough. There's some rough ones still out there.
You should be approaching your 10,000 hours, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Getting there?
I mean,
That's what they say,
I work a ton of hours.
How many
for 6 years?
in reality? How long is 10,000 hours? Like days, weeks?
Hey Siri.
Hey.
How long?
How many days is?
How many days is?
I'm just
10,000
curious.
How many days is 10,000?
Because
work
there's
days
probably
are
quite a few
10,000
things that I have 10,000
416. It's 416 days straight.
Oh,
Oh,
So yeah,
Like-
I'd say you've been doing that for
Yeah.
6 years, and you were telling me your hours before we started the show.
Yeah.
You know, you get up early and you start working on stuff. You've got to be
Mhm.
past your 10,000 hours. So that's
oh yeah.
I would
they say
think
it
so,
takes
too.
10,000 hours to become a master at a skill. So
I'm sure I'm not like close to 10,000 knives, but I'm probably halfway there.
that's pretty badass.
Maybe almost halfway there. With the production knives going, that's really up my numbers. So
That's badass.
maybe not 5, maybe 3,000 knives. That sounds more right.
And it's such a cool thing because you can just
I can't
like I
do
said,
that.
you just do it in your garage.
Man, that's the best part.
You're just hanging
Well,
out.
to be honest, eventually I'm gonna have to move out and get a building, get a bigger shop because
Max cap.
oh yeah, got a lot of stuff in there and now 2 motorcycles. So
Getting to the point where it's dangerous slinging sparks.
well, it's always dangerous slinging sparks. There's sawdust and steel dust everywhere, and yeah.
Pile of melted shoes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I got fire extinguishers, and
Yeah.
it's in my house, or it's attached to my house, so I do everything I can to
Make sure shit's right. Yeah.
For sure.
That's freaking badass, man. I dig it. That's just really, really cool.
I just have fun,
and that's
a
the
good
important
time.
thing.
It keeps me at home, and like I say, I get to hang out with my family a bunch. And when I retired from tattooing, it was weird. Like my wife and I's relationship was like weird for a while because all of a sudden, for years, she worked during the day, I worked at night, so we never had daycare or anything. I watched the kids during the day, or I'd take them to school during the day. She'd watch them at night. And all of a sudden, we're like on the same schedule together all the time, and it was wild.
So we were also talking before the show. You went up to Sturgis this summer, and I had some wild hot sports opinions about Sturgis because for 2 reasons.
Right
I've
on,
always wanted
right
to
on.
go. I've
Right,
always
right,
wanted
right,
to go and just see that scene. I don't ride. I don't have a bike.
Right.
But you're a big Jackal fan.
I'm a
and
huge
I know it.
and
and
that seems to be the only place you can
That's
see
true, I know
Jackal
that.
every year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's why we all go.
but what Jackal and Smash Mouth, right?
I
Those are
don't
the
know.
two.
Smash Mouth up there too.
I thought they were up there this year. Some no.
ZZ Top played.
ZZ Top's they're up there quite a bit.
That makes sense.
What's his name? The wrestler, his band,
Fozzy?
Fozzy.
Oh, yeah.
Fozzy played, yeah, because there was a bunch of people on a couple of websites. That was kind of when the outbreak of COVID kind of started picking up. So Sturgis got a bunch of shit for
Oh yeah.
still going on.
Apparently, they did a poll. Apparently, like 70+% of the townspeople didn't want to do the show, but the city council decided to do it anyway because,
Well, it was kind of too late to kind of pull the plug, wasn't it?
400,000 people came this year, and I mean, you imagine how much money.
That's
made.
their thing.
It's
That's
over
their money every
50%
year.
of those communities' business. Like
Oh yeah.
those
Oh,
2 weeks and the 2 weeks before it and afterward are like most of the money that community makes for the entire year.
That's
So-
I was watching some. It wasn't really a documentary, but it was something to have to do with Sturgis, or they spent a couple of episodes there talking about Sturgis and how, that weekend or that week, bars, that's their income for the entire year is basically.
Some of them are only open.
Yeah,
During
and some of the
Sturgis,
boutique
really, right?
restaurant or boutique stores and stuff, they make all their money, and the rest of the time it's just kick back, relax. People come through on
or they'll-
vacation or stop through.
They'll make their money, renting their place out to people that come in and cater to that stuff. They'll clear their retail space out for, custom things that come in, and they'll pay for their whole year's rent with,
Yeah, because there was 30 places on Main Street that sold T-shirts.
Yeah.
and you can't sustain that year round.
Yeah,
No.
Especially when they're all Sturgis T-shirts.
Well, and there's
Yes.
nothing.
Right?
Well, it's all the like
A bunch of them were intense though. Like if there's a space down there, especially downtown, there's tents everywhere.
How there's nothing around there but the Black Hills, right? That's all that's.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean that's
We're
it.
seeing
That's the draw. You
the
got
draw.
no idea.
Well,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
right
is
in the
like,
mountains is cool, and the Black Hills is just its own.
man, as soon as you
badass
get out of
thing.
there, there's that Bear Butte or whatever. That one big. I mean, it's
Even
cool. Just
going the other
soon-
way is all of Deadwood and all that go down to.
Oh, that
Mount
is where Deadwood
Rushmore,
is. That's right.
And Needles Highway is insane. There's a video on my YouTube channel, Knives Made by Nick.
Keep pushing it. We need those subscribers. But that's what I was getting at was like, how many people for their family vacation are like, we're going to go to the Black Hills in order to provide any form of tourism for Sturgis, to come through, eat a meal, stay at a hotel
I'm sure,
or whatever.
To be honest, I think all of the, maybe not Sturgis itself and all those, that whole circus that happens there. I mean, people have to go there year round because the place is beautiful. I mean, it's crazy beautiful.
That's been
Mount
my other
Rushmore-
draw.
Not Mount Rushmore. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. The
How far are you from Devil's Tower?
Devil's Tower.
Yeah, Devil's Tower.
Yeah,
That's not that far, right?
It's from Sturgis itself. It's probably
Richard
2 or
Dreyfuss
3
is still
hours
up
away.
there.
I mean, it's a ways away.
But that's
So,
not that bad
Yeah.
considering.
I didn't go out that way, but I did go see the Mount Rushmore. Went and did the Needles Highway. Deadwood was amazing. It's like a little, and it's in the mountains.
Is it still
It's
set up as an
crazy.
old
Oh yeah,
West
all
Town?
Wild West Town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Only 4 short hours to the world's largest ball
Ball?
of wax.
Yeah.
Or ball
Yeah.
of twine. Was it
Ball
ball
It's
of
a ball of
twine?
twine. Yeah, ball of twine.
Nice.
Clark.
freestanding mud structure. Yes, Rusty. And
That
after they
movie-
ran out of sod, they used mud.
That movie was a childhood staple right there. It was so great.
Oh God, I even love the new one. Like
Yeah, the new one's
one
great.
with fucking, it was so
When they're trying to
good.
wash that dick off the side.
Oh.
It's fucking hilarious.
So
Both those
good.
movies, yeah. And Christmas Vacation, European Vacation, I can watch every once in a while. Vegas was just awful.
Vegas was awful.
They just kind of, I don't know.
Woo! The flame on the blue one's as big as the red one. Bigger than the red one.
So yeah,
Mr. Papa Giorgio, you have won the car.
did you ride up there by yourself?
Well, I went to Wyoming with Terry Shanks and Jason Keene, but we hung out in Wyoming for a while, and then I rode over to Sturgis by myself.
And then coming back home, did you just
Yeah,
free
I
ball
hung
it
out-
alone
I hung
and-
out in Sturgis with Wes from Dallas, and we hung out there. Danger Dan came out, but there was a bunch of people there I knew. Ricky from down in Houston, we hung out, and then there was a shitload of people there that were from like right around here that were there that I didn't see, which was odd. You know what I mean? And then I rode home. I rode home from what was that? Grand Island, Nebraska. I rode through the Badlands and like hung out, got some cool pictures. I found the back gate to the Badlands, like literally the back gate of the national park, and it turns into a dirt road. Like you go through the Conta Basin, and it's just this highway that heads out, and then it just
That's badass.
ends at a dirt road.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I took it for like 38 miles before it hit a blacktop. I got stopped at an Indian reservation on the way through there.
By the native police officers?
Dude had,
The
he had
Res
shorts.
Buzz.
He had shorts on and like a tank top, but he also had like an orange vest, but he had a badge hanging on his shorts, and his shorts were all sagging. And he got out of the car when I.
That's nice.
riding
That sounds
up,
cool.
And I was just.
I mean, how
rolled up.
casual does it get?
He
I
asked
mean,
me. He was like, "Well, what's your name?" And I was like, he asked me, "What's your first name?" And I was like, "Nick." And he wrote down my license plate number, and then he was like, they had this sign. It was like, he he's like, "Where'd you come from?" And I was like, "Oh, South Dakota." And he's like, "You're in South Dakota." And I was like, "Why is it, Sturgis?" I didn't know how far I was. And
I don't
he's
know.
like,
You're
"Well,
in South Dakota,
he's like,
boy.
Did you hang out in big groups? Did you, wear a mask? Did you do all this stuff? And then he was like, "All right, go on." He's like, "Just do me a favor and don't stop unless you have an emergency." So I kept on going, and then I met some crazy old
That's
man
Navajo
out in the middle of
country, ain't it?
out in the middle of nowhere. There was like a road construction. They had one lane shut down, so they had a stop sign, and I stopped. There was an old dude on a bike with a trailer coming up behind me, and we stopped at this stop. And then we're in the middle of absolutely nowhere, like you're just like highway, and just like we're almost in Nebraska, and there's nothing around. He's like, "How far is it?" He asked the girl, "How far is it to the next town?" And she's like, "Oh, it's like 46 miles or whatever." And we're trying to use our phones. We're so far out
You're in the town.
there's nothing. And he's like, "Well, I didn't fill up with gas, and I'm running low, And I was like, "Well, I got gas. I got a couple of gas cans with me. If you run out," I was like, "You're going faster than me." He'd already passed me, and I was like, "Well, you just go on ahead, and if I see you on the side of the road, I'll stop." And a mile from town, he was out of gas.
He was out of
on the
gas.
side of the road.
Almost
And I
made
had
it.
stopped
So
to
close.
pee, and I'm sure he was like, "Where the hell's this guy at?" But I rolled up and, give him some gas. And he was from Oklahoma. Like, we stood at a gas station for like an hour, just like talking. And, that was one of the cool things about going to Sturgis was meeting people at the gas stations that were on the way to Sturgis, and like meeting them and talking to them, hanging out. And then like, most of them riding way faster than me and running on ahead. I'd meet new people at the next gas station, and it was cool.
Okay, so where were you staying at night? Were you just pulling off the side of the road and setting up tent?
Well,
and
I
stuff?
camp anywhere. Like I'll camp behind a gas station. I'll camp in a ditch. I'll camp, in somebody's yard. I'll camp anywhere. But in Sturgis, I stayed at a campground
in a ditch.
Oh yeah.
But just right. Reason I ask is because this morning I hopped on Facebook as I was getting ready to go to work, and there's this group, this Marfa Terlingua Big Bend group
Oh yeah.
that I'm in,
Right.
and they gave this guy shit that came from Utah, I think he said. He was coming down to buy some land
Right.
down around either Terlingua or Marfa, and he asked. In fact, I got it.
You get a chance, look up on YouTube. My buddy Heath goes by the Great White Bison.
Okay.
On YouTube. He has a video where him and Stefano and a bunch of cats I know went and rode Marfa, Terlingua, Big Bend, all that stuff. And they were all on choppers. And Heath like videoed and documented the whole thing.
Badass.
They took those pictures where you can see the Milky Way, like the bike at night, lit up, and then the Milky Way in the sky behind it, and drone shots of them like,
Oh, they carry a drone with them?
Oh, yeah,
They follow them
yeah,
while they're
yeah,
riding?
oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
Yeah. And most of them were on like really like cool old school choppers, so it was pretty rad.
So this guy, this is what he posted. Is there anywhere to boondock with a motorcycle and tent while one finds a place to live or land to buy in the Terlingua area? And he's posted a photo of his bike and all his gear and stuff and tent, And people jumped his ass. What do you think this is? You can't just set up a tent anywhere you want. And this boondogging shit, you can't do that. You can't be just camping wherever you want in someone's front yard or on the side of the road or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And there's
Why not?
like all these people are ripping to shreds. And I was like, holy shit. Really?
Well,
Way
I
to
mean-
welcome a guy to your community there.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is the argument to respect property rights,
Private
I
property.
mean, if you owned a piece of property and I was standing out in your front yard tomorrow and you were like,
I'd just be like, hey, Nick, what's
who
going
the,
on?
well, I mean, but it wasn't me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like, who the hell's this dude standing? Well, hey, what are you doing standing in my yard? I
Hey.
mean,
Prospector.
so, but if you rolled up on a motorcycle and set up a tent,
Well,
you'd be
damn it,
like,
man.
I mean, if you had
We
Yeah.
big
split
land or
everything,
something, I mean,
50-50.
so yeah, I mean, I get it.
Which he's
I try
asking,
to,
is there anywhere to boondock?
right.
And they just jumped his ass like, I don't want you in my
Right.
front yard or on my lawn.
Right.
Now, a bunch of people
Well,
came
I'm
and gave
not.
him
Right, right,
suggestions and
right.
stuff. But there was like this whole group that just ripped through him. And
So-
there were people popping in there going like,
Could have just said no.
he's asking if there's
Or
a
not
place
replied.
he can do that.
Well,
like,
if I camp in somebody's
park?
yard, I mean, when I travel, I try to document what I do, and I have people that they know where I'm at, and they hit me up. And they're like, "You need a place to stay?
Yeah.
Come stay in my yard." So
The last time I went to Sturgis, we
Terror.
rented a spot in this guy's yard for $7.
right on
Yeah.
at Sturgis. Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
right
at the
on.
51st. Was that?
Right
I think
on.
that was in '91.
How many times you been?
Twice.
Yeah,
Tattooed up there.
yeah. He worked
And
up
worth
Up
it
there.
every time?
It's different when you live up there for 2 weeks, as opposed to when you drive through for a day and stay
Right.
overnight. It's
Yeah,
like living.
Wes
It's like
tattooed up
living
there
at
for
a
3 weeks.
It's like living at a county fair with motorcycles everywhere.
yeah.
So how is
Fair food.
If you're up
and
there
that's
for
exactly right, yeah.
2 weeks working, is it nonstop work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just people
Listen to
coming up
the-
and wanting ink, just like here.
Listen to Danger Dan's podcast. He talks to Wes about his trip out there to Sturgis, and like I say, he tattooed out there for 3 weeks, and he paid off his booth fee like the first day, and like he made good money. He had a blast.
What's the legal?
I think we paid
ramifications of
$1,000
that?
a week for our spot that we were kind of grandfathered into, and this is what 30 years ago,
Right on, right.
and everyone would walk away with 10,000, and the owner there, I'm sure he doubled or tripled that. So it was a good stuff,
And you didn't have to worry about like licensing requirements or anything. for
Oh, yeah,
being
they're
overseas?
really
Are
strict
they
there.
Oh, they take. Yeah, I mean,
You
like,
have
like
to.
I say, I know Wes worked at a shop, and it was, it was a shop. They had the
Yeah.
license and all that.
I was trying to think what
Fell
it
into
is to
them.
get certified there. You have to have 12 tubes, 12 needles. You have to have you have to have a bunch of equipment. So you can't just be someone who shows up with like 2 pieces of equipment, and you have to be a professional
Right,
tattoo
right,
artist, and you have to really come
right.
deep with equipment.
Yeah.
Because they make you have a certain number of setups and everything to prove that you're not just there to use the same equipment on everybody. And a lot of people get turned away because of that, because they planned on doing different things. But yeah, they're really thorough there. Really
Right.
thorough.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you want, I guess you go to the gathering of the Juggalos if you want the.
Right.
Yeah, how many of y'all have been to those?
The opposite
Hand poked
experience.
in the woods. Yeah.
That is another thing I would like to go to once, and
Right,
not for the
right,
whole
right,
weekend.
right,
I don't need to
right.
be there for the whole weekend. Just
I've-
one day, or
I've watched so many documentaries. It
hours.
feels like I've been there, and I'm
Wait.
not. I don't want to go
Right.
back.
you just have a whole collection of Juggalo documentaries.
Yeah, it seems like that one
You gotta hook me
guy
up.
made that really good one, but then ever since then, everyone goes out there and they film like every year. There's a lot of footage from that shit.
Get real fucked up because it ain't pretty.
Yeah,
They had it. Where did they have it? Oklahoma was the place they had it one year.
I'm not sure.
It was on a pond. And they had everything. I remember seeing the map.
Right.
Because I had a friend. She wanted to go up there really bad
I think I know some people that went to that one.
and wanted me to go up there with her. And I was like, I kind of want to go just to shoot all this stuff. It'd be fun.
It'd
But
be
it was like
great
around the
for
pond,
a photographer
yeah.
or something.
Just see the chaos.
Yeah.
Well, I know some
Man.
people that went up. I think they went to the one in Oklahoma, and I know they got arrested for camping on public land. Speaking of camping on public land, yeah, they got arrested for that because they were like wherever they were, they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
because there was so many people there that they were camping all around it in the woods and got arrested for it.
I guess luckily when on your trip, a lot of that stuff you went through was like BLM land and stuff, wasn't it?
Some was.
Probably.
We camped on some public land up in Wyoming for sure. On the way up, we stayed in a hotel every night. I slept on the floor, but Terry and Keen got they'd both sleep in the bed. Like I say, I was planning on camping the whole way up there anyway. So, yeah, like I say, I stayed. I mean, I don't remember how I stayed every night, but yeah.
And when you go up there to work, would you ride?
I did the first time, and then the second time I drove a Winnebago.
That seems to be the way to go.
I stayed
right
in the
there.
tent the first time, and it was hot and miserable.
All
And then the
right,
second
right.
time, me and a buddy, we invested and
It is in the summer.
rented a Winnebago and drove it up, and it was way better.
Yeah.
It had air conditioning, and you go in there and had all the amenities.
But you
So-
worked all day too. Huh?
Yeah, so I had to be ready to work
right.
at noon. We worked
Right.
till like from noon to midnight. So
Right.
it was really busy. It was fun.
I camped with Wes, and I know he got up 5:30 and was down there at like, he was tattooing at 7. He had appointments every day at like 7 in the morning.
Every kind of
yeah.
fried food you can imagine, and by the end of it, you've had it all, and you're so sick to death of it.
I did
And
have
it's like,
Huckleberry
oh, man.
ice cream while I was out there.
Oh,
That was
man,
good.
I love huckleberry, just flavored
Oh.
anything.
They had a bunch of great desserts out there, that's for sure.
I don't think I've ever had a huckleberry anything
There's these
in my life.
huckleberry candies my dad used to bring back from God knows where, but I just remember just chomping through them, like hard candies, just made my teeth all strong.
What was I gonna talk about? We talked that Marfa chaos. That just made me crazy. That guy getting.
I want to go
all
out there soon.
liquid.
I want to go to.
I'm ready to go out
Burlingwood.
there.
Oh
Yeah. Maybe I'll go do that this spring.
Yeah, I've never been.
Go do a social distancing vacation.
You never been out there?
I never have, no.
I figured
A
you'd
friend
been
of
out there.
mine used to.
A friend of mine rented a teepee out there. Man, the pictures are really cool, and it's not like a. It's not like a regular teepee like you think. It's like
It's got a
this
hard
thing
floor. It's got a hard floor.
Yeah, it's got a
and,
hard
like,
floor.
yeah.
They got AC in there. It's
They got a big bathtub or something in there.
I think they
next
got
to
it all.
A
Yeah.
friend of
bed.
mine used to
Fridge.
work at that place down there called it's like Casa. I always want to say Casa Magnetica, but that's the place at Six Flags.
Six
that
Flags.
was on
The
the
sled
angle.
house.
God damn it! It was right on the tip of my tongue, but it's like they rent out Airstream trailers. TPs.
That's one of the 8th great wonders of the world. They tell you.
Yeah.
They would have you know.
So their whole thing is they have all these different.
El Cosmico.
That's the one. Yeah. My friend met her husband there, and they worked out there for a couple of years, and but yeah, I would always be amazed at those pictures, like those Airstreams, just all set up, and they're all spaced apart.
They have
and
yurts.
stuff, and
They have teepees and yurts.
my
That
friend
was the
just
thing
built
about
a
the-
yurt up in Northwest.
The teepees that my friend was showing me their pictures. Man, they just open up to 20 miles straight in front of them with the most badass scenery. The front doors of those places. It's just like, man, I want to go stay there and watch the sun come up, roll across that stuff.
It seems they try to keep you pretty spread apart so you get that experience.
Yeah, it seems.
That's cool.
I've
Seems
been
really nice.
building up my truck out front for a nice trip out there,
Yeah.
so I can just camp in.
That's one
the
cool
middle of
thing. Every
Big
time I
Bend.
go out to like New Mexico or Colorado, man, there's all these dudes with the badass the truck with the gas cans and the shovel and the all the stuff and the pod on top that and now it's a tent and
You can go go do a lion safari.
Safari.
Man, Jason did that when he came through here. They were sleeping on cots on the ground, and they had 2 trailers that were these post-apocalyptic super trailers, and they had the pods on top with the
There's blue towels right over there.
they had the big military tires and wheels on them, and yeah, they had pods on top that would look like a surfboard pod. You'd store a couple of surfboards in, or a luggage rack on top of a minivan, but it would. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Sweet.
A nice little rooftop tent.
My buddy's gearing
Eventually
up to go
go out
treasure
there.
hunting.
Well, this was like a hard top and a hard bottom, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
a clamshell thing, and it would just it was
Pop open.
soft-sided when they were rad, dude.
That's the way to
And
do it.
They were traveling the country. They went from here to Houston and then to Memphis and on up to where they crossed the border up and headed up to Toronto. So they were
God
camping
damn.
the whole way, for real.
This stupid hub. I hate this shit.
You are experiencing technical
We
I
are
would love to
experiencing-
have one of those little fucking 2-wheeled teardrop trailers, those teeny tiny ones.
Oh, yeah.
Those are
You
badass.
know, you pop the back and you
You
have
cook
like
on the back and
yeah.
you sleep inside.
That's
There's
so
you sit
fucking
outside
cool.
the rest of the time.
Because that's what I would take, like, instead of bringing a tent, like, you know, I just drive out and go camp out at Mineral Wells or whatever, you know, Cleburne State Park and shit. Just bring that little fucker. Just pull right up.
Pull right up. Good to
Done.
go.
You know, I'm ready to start cooking. And I mean, it's pretty much.
This thing's fucked. I think I broke it finally.
Wait, do the Fonzie. Come on, do it. Do it.
Hey.
Hey.
It sounds cool, I
It
think. What
does
is
sound
that?
good. All the springs
all
and
the
everything.
springs.
So you have a friend fixing to go treasure hunting?
Yeah, he's talking about
The coast,
going to
the curse of Oak Island or whatever.
Oh man, he's going to Utah. He knows Viking burial mounds, these Indian burials they found, and now the new DNA testing and stuff. They found these were actually thought to be giant Native Americans, and now they've been found out to be Vikings. And he's looking for he's going to go look for Aztec gold in Utah, and
Wow.
he's got some promising leads. I guess he's gearing up. He's about to head out.
Right.
It'll
So
be
has he been
interest-
hired by somebody, or is this like research that he's done himself?
I think he has a couple people that he's going to try to get to mentor him that he corresponds with. And as these dudes have been aging, they don't do this anymore. But they have a bunch of resources, and they've been doing it for 40 years or so themselves, their whole adult lives. So he's trying to kind of court them and go help them treasure hunt for a while, and
Heck yeah.
then he's gonna finish at do the
Going
grunt work
after-
for a while.
He's going after Viking remains.
Says there's Viking remains in Utah. They're out there.
What the hell? Is there everything in Utah?
Um,
Everything seems to be in Utah.
Yeah.
All the cool national parks are in Utah.
the Mezzo Gold's up there.
The magic
The gold,
underwear.
Yeah.
What?
Can't
What's
forget the
there?
magic underwear. He's right. The magic underwear is
Yeah.
I
there.
don't know what that means.
That's from the Mormons.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't
They
fuck with the
have, they
Mormons.
have magic underwear. But you just can't walk into a store and buy this magic underwear.
Oh.
It has
that-
to be
That kind
earned
of thing.
and or stolen.
The more I research Utah, the cooler it seems to be. Like, that seems to be a badass place to just
Beautiful.
Yeah,
go adventure and hang out and get lost.
I think as far as scenery, it's got some of the most amazing like state parks and national parks and
And when I was a
Like
kid, they had
Bryce
one of the most
Canyon
laughable cop cars you
arches
had ever
and-
seen. They had the big bubblegum machine looking,
Oh, right.
had a big dome. They have like a beehive on their state troopers, and they used to have this big bubblegum like candy machine looking light on the top of it that was taller than anything you'd ever seen.
Did y'all see what they found today in Utah?
No.
So some BLM guys, Bureau of Land Management, not Black Lives Matter.
I was wondering when you said that earlier. I was like, oh, they
Should have clarified earlier. The Bureau of
is there
Land
a
Management.
compound up there or something. Or-
So there were these guys. Bureau of Land Management was flying over this area that's damn, I forgot. It's between Arches and the Badlands.
The monolith.
Yeah, they're flying over with
No.
a helicopter,
So fucking cool.
and they're cruising around. They're counting these aoudad sheep that are climbing up these rocks and everything, and they're counting them. And they come around this corner, and down in this valley, they see this silver thing reflecting. Like, what the hell is that? So they
Mhm.
land the copter and they walk down there to it. You know, they kind of fly around a little bit. Like, man, what the hell
So
is that?
cool.
And it's a 12-foot monolith out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
It looks just like 2001 Space Odyssey. It's
Yeah.
got the angle.
What are you doing?
And it's stuck into the ground. Like they said, it wasn't dropped.
No, yeah.
It was like somebody installed it out there. And I'm like, that is the coolest shit ever. I love when people do shit like that just to fuck with other people.
Like,
Even if it's aliens or whoever. But
here's all the pictures that have come out of it.
it's
as of
pretty awesome.
today. They supposedly found it, I guess, 3 days ago, and it's just now making the news cycle
That
today. They
looks
just now went
like-
public with it.
Yeah, I saw it
A
on
movie
Daily
set.
Mail a couple of days ago.
Right? I mean, does it look like a movie set?
It kind of does. You know what it looks like? It looks like Mars.
It
Let's
looks
get that conspiracy theory
it
going.
looks just
Right,
like
right,
where
right.
they filmed it in fucking 2001.
2001, yeah.
It really does. When
That's
you look
probably whoever built that. That's probably what they did. Is they were like, "This looks like the place in
Nice.
2001. So let's just put this here."
it's so cool that somebody's just like, you know what? I'm not going to claim this. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to fucking go a bunch of miles out into the middle of nowhere and put this
Put the-
thing and wait till somebody finds it.
So there's a whole Reddit thread about it, and I was
Of
cruising
course.
through it today, and I'm looking through it, and they say,
Are they going to
you know,
spoil it for me?
they found the location, easy. They found the location,
Yeah.
and then someone went through Google's map database. It was placed sometime between 2015 and 2016,
Mm.
because that's when 2 pictures were taken out there, and you can see it in one, not in the other. So,
Yes.
and it's not that far. Once they started pulling up the GPS locations, I went and looked. I could see there on
get
Google
to
Maps, you can kind of see a dirt trail.
Right.
Well, I hopped on All Trails, and sure enough,
That's a hiking trail.
it's a UTV off-road vehicle trail.
Oh, okay.
That's 53 miles point to point, where you can camp and hang out there in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And it goes right through BLM.
You would need an
property.
ATV to get that shit out there.
But yeah, so, and it may be like, I don't know, when you're looking at it from satellite, maybe like half a mile off this trail, back up in the rocks and everything. But it's still like a difficult location to get to, especially with something that's
12
aluminum, 12 foot tall, and there's no telling how much is in the ground.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it could be 16 feet long with
Oh,
4 of
man.
it in the ground.
Got to go down a pretty good ways, I would think, just from the terrain alone.
Hold it up.
Mhm.
But the bit, the guy, whoever did this,
Fucking brilliant.
Brilliant.
Genius. A plus. 100.
so I
You
had
get
a
a 100.
one of my good friends growing up. He was a sculptor and did massive iron sculptures that he put in museums and stuff. And he lived here in North Richland Hills, down by Saginaw, North Davis, not Saginaw, Smithfield,
Mm.
North
Oh, yeah,
Davis.
yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
And so what he wanted to do was, when on Bedford Euless Road here in front of Restaurant Row, there for a while they were putting sculptures up. And they change them out
Yeah,
once
the
a year,
armadillo.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
They change them out once a year. Well, what he wanted to do was Ninja go in there, and you have to go through like a whole process because he looked into it. He's like, I don't want to do that.
Sure, yeah.
And one of the pads were empty for a while. He's like, I want to go just Ninja that.
Yeah. Let's go set it up.
And he ended up putting something out there, and it lasted for a couple of months. And then he wanted to, down here at the golf course, Iron Horse Golf Course, they put in that "Welcome to North Richland Hills" sign that lights up all big right there off the highway. He wanted to build a giant bird, eagle or something, out of metal and put it up there. Put it on top of it, go in there and bolt it in and see how long it would last.
Yeah.
Never got the balls up to do that because he was just kind of like, can't figure out, it's going to take a lot of work. I got to be able to mount and bolt this to everything.
Yeah.
At least the thing on Bedford Euless, all he had to do was go out there and find the bolt holes, measured them, built that into his base plate, and then built what he wanted to on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that one lasted a while. But I always thought, this
Cool.
is next level. You're doing this
That's
for
amazing.
you.
It's amazing.
And hoping that one day someone will be out there hiking and be like, what the fuck is this? And freak out. Little did you know, it'd be 3 guys in a helicopter that are part of the
Yeah.
land
and it'd
management.
take 3 years. Or 4.
4
years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on Daily Mail, and I immediately just sent it to Calvin, and it was like, it's fucking awesome. And he was like, I love when shit like that happens.
Totally love it. Totally love it. Yeah. I mean, that's Banksy times 1,000,
Yeah.
He's
I
doing
like
shit in
all that.
public. This is out in the middle of nowhere.
I always liked, like Space Invader was known for that shit. He put those little tiles, and there's one in Dallas for a while. It's still
I don't know,
there.
it's still there. There was a bunch in Houston for a while, too.
Yeah. And I just thought that was so cool. Just like, and he
There's
did.
some of that tile stuff around here.
Does he?
Well, I mean, I don't know who. Did
Oh,
it.
I don't know.
There's
There is
tile
someone
stuff
doing it.
around here.
Yeah.
'Cause there's stuff on 377. There's stuff on 26 down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a guy that just literally did those little Space Invader creatures out of little
Yeah.
square pieces of tile or whatever it was. Yeah.
And we tile them. I think in Houston, the one I've seen is on a bridge.
Yeah, they're
right there,
they're,
the Aqueduct Bridge right there
It
going
seems
downtown.
like they're usually kind of high up and they're stuck with some kind of industrial fucking shit where you cannot get it off.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like too much trouble to get it off. And
But-
they're kind of cool because they're only about like this big. You know?
Yeah.
They're about as big as a
Right,
license
right.
plate or something.
And there's been a bunch of people over the years like do the different stuff in the New York City subways, put stuff here and there, hidden, either like mosaic tile or
Yeah.
little sculptures or something. But
One of my
Yeah,
favorite
this
forms of
rules.
graffiti was where people would change stuff. Like that would seem like that was like an easy.
glue money down.
Well, no,
Oh.
they would like
Billboard Liberation
no,
Front.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would do they would like change billboards. You
Yeah.
know, where they would overlay a part of it, or they would hand paint something on
Yeah.
there, but they would change it to, even if it was just goofy or funny.
Yeah,
Billboard
Billboard Liberation Front would even go as far as to do like back in the day when Camel was doing all that Joe Camel shit with neon. They would go and somehow reroute new neon tubes, or I don't know how they did it, but they would change the neon to spell other shit. They would tape over some of it, and
right.
they would make it say something terrible, like
Yeah.
And I always love that shit.
Well, there's a CPAP store over here on Davis.
Oh yeah,
Right
yeah,
there,
right
Davis
there by the
Star,
Whataburger.
that's the CPAP store, and it says CPAP, and you can't see it without thinking, is that store called crap? And it's
I've
like,
always thought
it
that.
would be so easy to go up there with a
An
piece of
R.
orange tape and just stick it. I mean, a piece
Crap
of orange
supplies.
tape about 4 inches long, about a half, probably an inch wide, and just stick that up there, and the store would say crap. It's too easy.
I listened to a podcast called 99% Invisible, and it's about design stuff, and they get on weird tangents with the graffitiing and being the guerrilla artist.
Mm.
And there's a whole episode talking about a guy that he climbed up on a billboard in Los Angeles, and one night took the time to completely redo a highway. It's a highway sign that shows you what's where,
Oh,
what highways are where. And the reason he got up there and completely redid it, but what he did was
did he make it better?
he made it better because whoever built this signboard
Right.
screwed up, and it pissed him off because every time he would come to LA, he would always miss his exit because they didn't put the exit for this certain highway that peels off
Right, to scale
on the sign,
or like
on the
whatever,
sign,
right.
and he would end up having to go through downtown Los Angeles
shit.
before going off.
God dang.
So he's like, "I'm gonna make this better,"
Yeah.
and
Nice.
it sat up there for years. No one realized because it was that perfect. He went in and found the right font
Uh-huh.
for the stencils. He did
I've got that
made the
font, too. It's a
arrows
special
right,
one.
made
Right.
everything right.
They were reflective. So
Made
they-
sure all the
yeah, yeah,
reflective, the right paint was there. Like he researched everything and did it right, and it was up there for years. And then they were like, "Oh,
There's
this isn't
two.
right." Like someone got up there. I think someone had a work order to go up there and work on something.
Yeah, this sign's
Like,
bolted to
this-
the other one.
Yeah, this ain't right. What's going on here? And I think he ended up getting in trouble, or they ended up somehow it got out because he had told his friends, and it
Right.
slowly trickled out who did it, and he had to go. He got arrested, went to city council or whatever, and they're like, "Look, I'm doing this to
Yeah,
make it
you
better
should
because
fucking
y'all
hire
screwed up."
me.
And they're like,
Yeah, you should be hiring me, not
They're
like-
fucking fining me, you idiots.
and that was the thing. Like they went through all their laws and they tried to get him on all these graffiti charges and everything. And they're like, "Well, he technically didn't graffiti
There's
anything.
no paint
Right,
He
right,
didn't
used in
change
this.
anything. He did,
He made
He made it
sign.
better. and they let him go."
Nice.
It's a pretty good episode. They talk about all that. But I like shit like
Wow.
that. But this monolith, my mom sent it over to me, and she's like, "Did you do this?" That was her. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
She goes, "This is something you
wish.
did last year when you went out to Utah and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Well, I never went that far north, but I was like, no." And then I just got hooked on it the rest of the day, like
Oh, so
reading
it
about
was
it and
so
shit. And I was
great.
like, I'd love to read a story that it opened up and
Oh
swallowed
yeah,
someone
like
up.
what kind of preparation did it take? You know, did it take a year for them to put that project together? If somebody like just totally built that out there, they're like,
And is it just one dude that was just like, meh, let's see what happens? Or was it a whole crew that was like, let's do this? Or is it a marker for a site that someone goes out there and has a ritual?
Yeah, or was it put there by aliens in 2015 and a half?
I would hope that it wasn't aliens, because some of the video they've got up close to it, you can see rivet holes, like where they put the screws to screw the aluminum
Shoddy
panels on there.
craftsmanship.
I would hope aliens wouldn't use
Yeah.
screws.
Maybe these aliens
Pop rivets.
weren't craftsmen.
Like if I found an alien device and it had Phillips head
right.
screws
Yeah.
on it, I'm just gonna be like, really?
Did they even measure this shit?
Yeah.
Man, so much
It's
for
got a
intelligent
sheetrock
life.
screw holding metal
Yeah,
parts
sheetrock.
together.
These
Like,
fucking aliens are dumber than we are. Jesus.
Although
Got
ET
some
did take a
toothpick
bunch
stuff
of
in there
shit to make a
help hold
telephone, so
threads in.
Right.
You know, speaking of aliens, you know what I watched? I think it was Sunday night. I
Aliens.
just bored.
Aliens.
Almost.
Aliens
Alien Nation.
2. Oh.
I hadn't seen that show in forever.
Yeah, the original movie with James Caan and Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah.
And it was fucking good. I loved it. It was.
Is it good, or is it good,
think
like
it was-
nostalgia good?
I think it
and
was
fun?
nostalgia good, but it wasn't like fucking like just terrible.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
Good way to ask.
it was a definite nostalgia good, but it definitely wasn't terrible either. It was like, I mean, yeah, you can tell it was made in 1988, but I mean, there's like slice and shit in the convenience stores, and which was funny, but yeah, it was like, man, that was a good movie. I wonder why they haven't, like, of all the bullshit that they try to remake, like something like that that's like super under the radar, that they could actually do like a cool remake of that now. With them coming down to Earth and everything, because they kind of skip over that in the original movie. They're just like already here.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
have
that is
their
true.
own.
They weren't they?
Yeah, they're just like already set up in different parts of town with all those funny names.
Stubbs brought up a few weeks ago the original V, and how
that scared the shit out of me. I loved it. I was like addicted to it.
we were young, but it scared the shit out of us. But we had to watch it every week.
You had
Was
to.
that was that Freddy Krueger in that one?
Robert Englund? I'm not.
Wasn't he?
Was Robert Englund?
I'm not sure. I know.
I didn't know who Robert Englund was.
Wasn't he?
Back then.
Wasn't then he was? They pulled off his makeup and he was one of the aliens, and then the aliens took off their makeup.
I remember there was like a scene where the
he was
face kind of rips
that
open.
Was him.
And it's like the reptile face underneath.
Right.
Well, that's the part that creeped everybody out.
Yeah.
That's the scene that made everybody like.
I
what the
used
fuck?
that
This
for
is creepy.
one of my avatars for years. It was like my face though, and it peeled open, and there's the reptile.
That show was great.
That was great.
Was that on MySpace?
Probably. They did a remake of it, but I don't. It had that it had the prostitute from Firefly. What's her name? Morena.
I never watched Firefly.
She was in Homeland too. She was in the first couple seasons. She's
Yeah.
Real beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking about.
I think she was like the they had like the female leader that would she was calm and would talk to everyone. I think she played that.
Is it worth going back and catching up on Firefly?
I always liked Firefly. I thought it was cool. Every now and then, like some of the cowboy shit, kind of like, all right, like I could dial it back a little bit, but
I've always wanted that. A guy really tried to sell it on me once, And that might have turned me off of it more because he was just like, "Oh my god,
I mean,
for an hour."
no, I mean I think it's a worthy series. It wasn't like 10 episodes long or something.
Oh, no kidding.
It's just a good.
And where does Serenity fit in with it?
I would watch Serenity afterwards because it kind of ties everything together, and it like there's some loose ends in the series because they didn't really, like it got canceled
Just
after
didn't get
one
to it,
season.
right.
Yeah. So they put out that movie because like people went nuts. Like I didn't know anything about it back then. I wasn't like a fan. I watched it well afterwards, but
And it's worth
I
it.
was
So,
trying to
I
think
liked
if
it.
they had
It's cool. It's cool.
if they had one other like spin-off or something, but I guess it was just that season finale and it was done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, she plays like I want to say prostitute because I mean essentially that's what she is, but they call it something else because it's like
Right.
it's looked upon as a very well-to-do position.
being a prostitute,
Fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
so
And
it's a
that's
call girl,
pretty much, but like they have
a
like
madame.
Fancier than that.
they-
Concubine?
but they have like they have like seniority.
Oh.
In a way. I don't know. I'm probably doing like Josh Whedon fans are out there fucking shitting their pants and cutting their necks right now, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and
So it wouldn't be a call girl, a slut, a sex worker, a lady of the night, a streetwalker, a hooker, working girl, whore, strumpet. Those are all
no, you'd probably have to look it up. Like what's the
the
Firefly
high end.
hooker called?
Yeah.
What's
A Jezebel.
something? They're like it's something weird like pleasure givers or I don't know.
Oh, there we go. A companion.
Companion. There.
There you are. A companion.
Yeah. It's
Very
like escort.
innocuous, Very,
Mhm,
yeah.
yeah.
I've talked about this on the show. They're in some of these construction sites I work in for long terms. When it comes to there will be some of the girls when it comes around to payday. Some of the girls that are in there working, cleaning and stuff. They'll turn to other trades when it's payday.
Whoa.
And I've had
Things are tough all over.
was in this apartment.
Like when the iron is hot.
You know where that Tom Thumb is on 7th? And they built those
yeah.
apartments behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I was in there working in there one day, and
It's usually funner to hear about than it is to actually be confronted with that situation.
she
Right.
comes walking up, and she's like, "You want companionship?" And I'm like, "Huh? What?" Because I was like,
Well, you
"What?
just want to like hang out.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
Yeah.
companionship.
You alone? You alone?
I was
You-
gonna watch The Bachelorette.
you want
It's
companionship?"
coming on.
Yeah. And then she's
2
like,
roses left.
Yeah.
she's like, and then I just kept looking at her. She's like, $20, we have some fun. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you now. All right. Yeah,
That was
no.
over there.
Yeah.
Off of 7th Street.
Well, this happens a lot in different areas, a lot that are like construction sites and shit.
I gotcha.
That was in a big apartment
I was
complex.
thinking like of those nice apartments back there. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, this is
No,
when they were under
they
construction.
weren't done yet.
They were,
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they were close to being done.
Oh, well, I mean,
What a bargain, too.
Yeah.
honestly, that's pretty fucking entrepreneurial.
Little sandwiches
You know?
during the day. And then,
It's like all these fucking
Yeah.
hard up dumb shit motherfuckers
With
with
a paycheck.
fucking paychecks.
With
Like,
paychecks, yeah.
yeah,
It is pretty smart the way to run that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta
I was
respect
like,
the
20
hustle.
bucks? What?
Respect the hustle.
Is that for like a hug? Like I'll be the young boy in Young Guns that just goes in and just want to hold you.
yeah.
Do you have any of those burritos left?
Yeah, that's always a good time. Always a fun time.
Wow, I never
dealing
thought
with
about that. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Companionship. You want companionship?
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well. So, you guys as a collective are recording, right?
We are.
We are.
Where are we at on that?
Yeah, we hit up Joe Tacky and went over there and got some track split down right before. I guess it was right before I left for Sturgis, so it was July.
We're about 4 tracks into our Decades
Yeah,
EP.
yeah.
Decades triple EP.
Yeah. Go back in December and do some more stuff next month. So, yeah.
When y'all gonna release it?
We don't know.
Triple
We're
10-inch package.
We're gonna clean.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
We're just gonna ask him what's the most expensive way to record this, print this.
Make it up as we go. So
10 inches, 10 7-inches each with, one song on them. Just the
Yeah,
other
there you
side's
go.
blank.
Hand decorated
That's-
covers.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? That's at least $4,000 in platters, right?
Yeah.
Alone.
That's like you're on you'll be on the Methinks plan right there.
Right,
Like,
right.
what's the dumbest, most expensive way we can put this out?
How can we not make any money?
Right.
Can we make it
At
a
all.
gatefold pop up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
How
Oh my
can-
god.
How can we incorporate the smoke? Is there
Yes, it's the
something?
gatefold pop up of us with. Remember we talked about doing the FTW spelt out with like do the stacks of amps where it spells out F in bass amps F, and then the big T of amps with raised drums on top, and then a
The
big,
T.
guitar fucking.
That would have to be like the
monolith,
middle
quad
gatefold of the
monolith
book.
of guitar amps to spell out the W.
I
and
won't
then-
be up there for real though, because I'm afraid of heights, and I'll fall right off the back
We'll
of
just
that
put
stool.
Well, he's in front anyway, so he'll just be right up front in front of the T. So.
That stage
Yeah.
was awesome. Did you have any idea until we got there that it was actually that big? I haven't been on. I've seen people play on it, but I was like, "This is a killer stage they put together back there."
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got to
That
play
stage
on
is
it
really
a
nice.
few times.
Sounded great.
And it was always I played up there once with the Methinks and once with the Stoogephilia, and
Right
both
on.
times it was like I couldn't believe how good the monitor sound was, and
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like, fuck, it's like playing in a band and not
Yeah.
like playing on a stage live and like
Yeah.
not being able to hear shit and
Yep.
just kind of
Did it
Like-
work putting your drums up front like that?
yeah. I
This
didn't
time
have,
around?
I
Yeah.
didn't have any
we do
problem.
that on purpose. I mean, we don't need.
I can
monitors.
hear them
Yeah.
better
Yeah,
that
we
way.
point the amps at him, and then we stand in the middle behind him, so we're all in the triad. We don't need monitors
ring
because
of
we can hear
death.
everything. Yeah.
It bites us in the
Smart.
butt every once in a while, but
Every
what
now
a great
and then.
show! What a fun time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a good time that night.
When we were setting up, the Lotus Sutra had their amps out there, and we were setting ours, kind of backlining theirs, and I was like, as we assemble amp hinge,
Impinge.
it starts to take the form of amp hinge when we, if we try or not.
I was joking with Trash Pockets. I was like, man, there's got to be so much fucking room in y'all's jam room right now. Like,
With
you could probably
everything at
get
the
in there,
show.
everything
Right,
out there. You
right.
could probably just get in there and fucking.
You would think, but it's
Run
only
around and
there's
do-
only things. There's only 2 foot difference against the
Yeah,
wall here
yeah,
and 2 foot
yeah.
here, and there's still a
Still-
dozen amplifiers
Yeah,
in there.
still
Yeah.
a wall of amps in there. Yeah, the other band was practicing Saturday night too, so I bet they were like, "Oh, sweet."
Yeah,
Fuck,
they were like-
look, we can
They were
stretch
running
out.
around like
Look at
Pete Townsend and shit.
Yeah,
like a
wireless shit.
Angus Young.
Could finally get my wireless rig out tonight.
Chairs leaning against the wall,
Yeah.
kicking back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was able to go over. I went over to Laura's last night because she got 2 new cats. Like one's a kitten and one's like kind of a kitten. So we're breaking them in. So I was over there last night.
They do well.
Sunday. Yeah, they're doing good. And I was able to put like 4 more coats of nitro on that base body and the headstock. So
Nice.
I think I've got 8 on there now, and I've still got a whole can to go and probably 3/4 of another.
Oh,
So
nice.
that shit's gonna have like 20 coats of fucking cellulose on it,
Yeah.
and then buff all the orange peel off with some wet sanding and some buffing, and hopefully it'll look like a guitar.
I want to buy a
Nice.
kit real quick and come paint it over there before you get done with all that stuff. Get a couple
Well, I just got the
sessions in,
setup done. Yeah, no
right
kidding.
before he takes it all down, puts it all up.
It's like the exact setup I wish I had at my house because she has like a garage. So I'm doing it
Yeah.
all over at her place.
Oh, okay.
And her garage is empty. So I'm well, not empty, but you know, it's a 2-car garage and she's got 1 car. But we pull it out and I'll hang the guitar like right from the hinge
One
of,
side of the car.
of the garage door opener. You know, just roll it up and it's just right there. I hook up a fan in front of it and
Frosted.
it's gonna be covered in fucking dust and hair and shit like that. I'm sure. You know, they're all like, well, if you see any dust, sand it out. And I'm just like,
That's the way I've always been.
you know, like the dust.
You can
is,
just sand it out. No, it takes fucking giant chips out with it.
Yeah,
That's always my
I'm
fault.
not gonna fuck it up. I'm just gonna let the hairs and the dust. It looks like a dollar bill. You know, like shit just gets caught in there. It's
Yeah.
all different colors, and bugs. No, there's no bugs. But
This table has a bug. It's underneath his laptop. When I cleared it out in the garage, it fucking
No kid.
got a bug in
oh,
it.
just
A little moth flew into it. And I was like, God damn it.
I just
I've cast
cleared.
some bugs. I've caught like
cleared
cicadas on
back
my
over.
workbench and cast them in resin. That's fun stuff. I dig it.
That's
I got
something I
some
need to play with.
compounds for you when you're done, so
Cool.
probably
Polishing.
save you some money if you wanted to
Yeah.
take those home for a couple weeks. You could buff a lot of that stuff out, you know, shines it up, do a little wet sanding, and then start with the compound after that. And man, it'll shine up like a mirror, man.
Yeah, we're gonna take it over to Nick's too.
Oh, there you go. No,
Put
you
it
don't
on-
have to do it by hand then.
Put it on the wheel.
Put on a bumper.
Yeah.
Buff it all
Quick day out of it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they just said be careful with the nitro because you can burn through it, I guess,
Right,
with friction
right,
a lot
right.
easier than normal stuff. That's a fucking weird compound. I swear every time I wear a big mask and a respirator and shit, and I leave the mask on, you know, and fuck, I'll be damned if I don't like kind of have a headache, you know, at the end of the night. It's like shit. That shit is toxic as
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
I don't think I've
Oh,
ever played
stuff.
with it.
It's
Right.
it. What's cool about it is like each coat like melds into the previous coats. It like doesn't layer it.
Chemically-
It just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
keeps adding to it, and it gets thicker. Like it begins as a coat, but it like, you know, it like becomes part of the rest of it. It's weird shit.
Huh.
And it'll take about anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to cure. And I'm figuring with me putting like 20 fucking coats on it, it's gonna be at least a month before
Oh, yeah.
Really?
it's cured.
And then what do you put over it? Anything?
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's just it,
That's
you're
the
done.
that's the last coat. Yeah, I put the color on it. And now it's just cans of clear nitrocellulose.
Man, I wasn't crazy
Huh.
about that stuff on my Gibsons, and then, man, dealing with this last guitar, I got showed a couple tricks, and it's like, holy shit, you can do anything with that stuff. You can take a little bit of it, and you can melt it down and fill in your spots, add a little color, you know, even if it's just dip your Sharpie and hit it with a heat gun, and you can melt in, and it'll fill in your holes and melt right in with that. That stuff's incredible, you know, what
Yeah,
you can do
it's
with it
pretty
in
crazy.
little patchwork and spots. And man, tougher than nails. I got a 2002, and man, it's taken some lumps, man, and I sanded on it, wet sanded on it, and shined it all back up, and man, still none of the wood shining through it, man. That stuff's tough. It's amazing what you can do with it.
It's kinda
But put a
badass.
sticker on it, and it'll puff up like it's got to get in the hives.
Really?
Yeah, it's real finicky stuff. You know, paint on it or draw on it with a ballpoint pen. It's there forever.
But
You
put a
can-
sticker on it, it freaks out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that stuff it kind of
you'll
puffs
never
up
get
or
it off
scars
clean.
it.
You'll never get it off clean. You know.
Huh.
You'll see it right through there. It changes it. It'll put a little dent in it or something.
Have any of y'all ever Cerakoted?
Mm-mm.
That's something I kind of want to get into.
I'd like to do that on a couple things I got. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to get into all that 'cause man, there's some cool stuff being done with Cerakote.
Mm.
But it seems like a long process. Something you can't. I don't think you can just do it in your garage either.
Yeah, can you do it in your oven at home, or do you have to have a kiln for it to do it right?
They say you can do it in a home oven, but depending on what you're putting in there,
Right.
how big it is, it depends on the.
Right.
Mm.
I don't know. A 10-inch upper may not fit very well in a oven.
Right.
Unless you kick it in there sideways or something, but
Gotta run a diagonal.
yeah. But yeah, that's something I've been wanting to get into and check out. I was gonna ask y'all. This may be right up y'all. Did y'all see the shit that City of Fort Worth put out last night?
About the about all the cops taking all your weed,
Yeah.
smoking it. No, I mean,
No, close.
Right. I mean, what else are they going to do?
It was they're gonna stop,
but they're not
arresting or
citing,
giving any citations for personal use.
Small amount.
That's great. I'm glad they announced that officially, but Fort Worth for the last 10 years, if you don't lie to them, has pretty much done that. They do the old grind it in the ground right in front of your face or whatever, but they've been pretty cool. If you get caught doing something, they're going to charge you with whatever if you got caught doing a crime or lying to them. But I've been pulled over and, had a friend with us, and it was just stinking to high heaven, just loud as could be. And, they took it from us and shook their fingers at us and scolded us and ground it into the ground, and we all promised to never do it again.
Yeah.
They let us go.
What's funny?
The way it should be. The way it should be.
I had that happen in the parking
And we were all
lot
smarter people.
at the Axis. Not the old Axis.
The new one they built there on South Main?
Yeah, which is now the building that I work in and is the parking lot where I park my car.
Nice.
Like where I park my truck. Every day except the past 8 months,
Yeah.
But it was the same thing, we were having an art show and we got it all set up and it was like, fuck, okay, let's go relax in the parking lot and get this taken care of. And like right when we did, like this cop just rolls up and it's like, fuck. And you just kind of, I don't know. I was just like, okay, well, looks like it's, Tarrant County.
Yep,
Tarrant
gonna spend the night
for me tonight because I've got some fucking
Looks
another
like a
joint.
cheese sandwich for you, son.
And he just asked, he goes, any of you guys got drugs or weapons? And I was like, I've got drugs and weapons.
What would have happened if you just said no?
I don't know. But
he would have had to turn to page 298 to see what the outcome was.
Like
choose your own
choose
adventure.
your own adventure.
Well, you boys have a
I just had a pocket knife and another joint, and I was like, here you go, and he goes, just break up that joint, and put the knife back in your pocket. I was like, oh, cool, keep my knife, so that's a bonus.
Right.
And he was like running all of our licenses, and he came back like 5 minutes, whatever later, and was like, it's. I think we were all in our 30s at that point, in our mid 30s, and he was running all of our licenses, and he was probably just like clean. Jesus, father, son, like, oh my God, like these guys are just a bunch of fucking nerds out here having a. He just told us, handed us back our IDs and told us to find a better place to hide next time.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, this could have been really bad. But, it was a bunch of older people. And we were just like, nobody was talking back or shit. It was just like, fuck, this sucks.
Well, their excuse for this is that the testing to see if it actually had THC in it.
It's backed up, huh?
Right.
It's backed up, and it's getting, because a lot of people roll around with CBD and just regular straight up hemp and stuff, and
Yeah.
that it's getting too hard to test and
Could
it's
be like
costing
these,
too much money.
like these things too. You know, is
Yeah.
that CBD? Is this?
Right.
You know,
What is it? It's
what
just
is it?
you can't tell. There's no test you can do
It's
on it
caramel.
instantly. So they
Sorry.
are saying they're just gonna stop
Interesting.
citing for it, arresting for it. Which, let's see.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
yeah. You can say that all you
it
want.
depends on the circumstances.
I guess,
I'm sure.
yeah. I guess if you're just cruising down the
I mean,
street,
just dipshit standing
being
in the
cool.
parking lot's different than like they stopped you leaving a blah blah blah.
In a
And
school
then
zone,
you have that
smoking a joint in the
So,
school
I mean, it just
zone.
depends.
sitting on the playground,
Yeah.
lighting up.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
waiting for your kid as you're in your car driving.
Yeah. Looking at your phone in a school zone, it's all of it. Like, well, I pulled you over for the phone, but I can smell your smoking, so we're gonna have an issue.
Yeah, you were actively shopping for weed online on your phone, sir.
Is that a Tor
I
browser?
wasn't shopping. I was just checking strains on Leafy. It's no big deal.
Shit.
How else are you supposed to check the potency and what cross it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
How long do I have to wait before I can
Swim.
Yeah.
And what meat it
Exactly.
best pairs with.
Right.
You always gotta
Could you
know.
recommend a good wine?
Yes. Shit.
Little fruit pairing with that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want to have we're gonna start with the first course of some gummy bears, and not those bullshit kind either. The good kind from the Germans, and then we're gonna move into the Funyun course.
All right.
And it's gonna be great. And then I don't know. I was thinking maybe for the main entree we do spaghetti sandwiches on garlic bread.
Mm.
Are you,
Yeah,
are you
That's
being
delicious.
a souffle of weed?
where
We're
this is
gonna
going,
yeah.
And you're gonna want some of this, and I'm gonna suggest
Yeah.
you for this.
And with each course, we're gonna pair it with a different strain.
yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
And you know what? It doesn't matter what strain it is or what course it is
What
or
is-
nothing.
What is that Bong Appetit? You ever watch that show?
Yeah,
How the
yeah.
fuck do they tell what anything is after the first couple of bites or
Right.
whatever? They're so smoked out,
Yes.
and they've been hanging out and smoking all this stuff, and they probably do 3 or 4 episodes in a row or whatever. But they are just
Yeah, you're only
They're just
seeing what
blazed.
they've taken part of on camera. What
Right.
was off
Yeah.
camera?
Right.
This is sped up time to get the meal out and everything.
Or all those shows like Fuck That's Delicious.
Yeah,
it's the
Fuck
same
That's
way, like fucking Action Bronson and all those guys.
I
just
love it when he does
smoking a bunch
when
of-
they combine that and the alien.
Yeah.
What is it? Ancient Aliens.
Ancient Aliens.
Where he's doing that, and they've got him green screened over the top of it, and he has guests walking through, and it's just like a living room up there on a green screen. It's awesome.
So funny, yeah.
It's kind of chaotic. It's hard to watch.
It is,
'cause-
all of his shit's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's what makes it so weird. It's almost like watching like the first time I ever saw something like Adventure Time, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on, man? This is not.
This is what kids are into.
Purposely
This is
psychedelic and
crazy. Yeah, like
weird.
these kids are taking drugs. These kids are on dope.
Did you go back and look at some of our cartoons we watched? And our parents going, this kid is watching these fucking talking cars and trucks that transform into robots, and
Yeah, think
it makes
about
no
that.
goddamn sense. This isn't real. This can't happen. This is gonna warp their brain. This is gonna fuck them up when they get older.
Or when every time a plane got shot down in G.I. Joe, the guy miraculously parachuted
Yeah.
out before it exploded.
What was the one with the
No.
Baron and Muttley? They raced.
Wacky races.
Wacky races.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I've got a couple of old toys, like little Hot Wheels cars that were modeled after those wacky races cars.
I came across some Mask action figures the other
Oh
day.
yeah, yeah.
Mask.
Those little metal people.
Yeah.
And they had like cars
And
and stuff
you
that
pull their
were.
head off, put them in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
All these weapons would pop out of the cars. Like
It
it'd
was
be
cool.
like, hey, that's a cool, 56 Chevy there, and then you push a button on cannons and Gatling
Nice,
guns come out, and
nice.
rocket
Oh,
launchers and shit.
That was right around the time when I was like, I was right at the cusp of like not, being into toys.
That was when I started changing.
Anymore.
Yeah.
But I thought Mask was so cool. Just like I was kind of buying it because, like, there's fucking machine guns all over it. It was just cool looking, and I never like watched the cartoon or
Oh, right on.
played with the, but they were just cool vehicles.
They were cool
to
looking.
me.
I must have been trying to figure out how to get cigarettes and light beer by then.
Yeah.
That was very close for me. That was about the time where things started going real rapidly into
another year.
I need a guitar. I'll get chicks.
Yeah.
Then I'll get beer and cigarettes.
Another year or two, and skateboarding possessed me.
Skateboarding,
punk rock and heavy metal, and all the rest is history.
Lack of transportation, kind of in the skateboarding possession, kind of went hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the kid that got the car at 16, so
that was transpo.
And then
you just skateboarded over to somebody's house that had a car,
right? Yeah, or I'd meet
That's what I
somewhere.
did.
They'd be like, "Nah, I'm not coming all the way over to your house." And I'd skateboard down to the road at the bottom of the hill or some shit like that. And they were kind enough to dip in there so I could hop in, so they didn't have to drive their 3 or 4 minutes out of their way.
My senior year of high school at LD Bell, I had bowling in the morning, and we met at Hearst Bowl at 7 a.m. every morning. They'd come and open it up. We'd go and turn all the machines on and shit. I learned how a bowling alley fucking worked. I was like, this is cool as shit. But we would turn the machines on for the lanes we were going to do, and that was our first period class. And it was like, since it was an athletic class, it was like 2 hours long. But I had a bug. I could drive. And it seemed like all the kids that didn't have vehicles found their way into my car.
Is that the bug out front?
No, it was a different one. But yeah, they all found their way into my car, and I became a taxi to school for these kids because it's like, I can walk up there in the morning. I live closer. I can ride my skateboard. One of the guys lived down the way and rode his skateboard up there every day. And they're like, "You mind taking me to school?" I was like, yeah, I see how this is.
Man, we used to do that. My buddy had this Datsun B210 they had given him and his brother, and he'd come pick me up for school and drop me off. And I lived right there in that neighborhood, but they were building houses out behind there. And they had an unloading ramp they had made by pushing dirt up and leveling it to where, and we would pick up kids from school and be like, "Hey, you need a ride home? You need a ride?" And we'd fill up the car, and then we'd go busting ass through that neighborhood, and go off the curb and head straight for that ramp and jump it, and we'd put like that as we're
little two-door, right?
Yeah, I think his was a two-door. We had to lean the seats up to get the people in the back. We'd put helmets on. We had football helmets. So, as we were turning the last corner, we'd put the helmets on. They'd be like, "What are you fucking doing?" And we'd all scream, "Crash positions!" And we went over that thing. And it wasn't, I think we went over it second or third time. The windshield busted out of it. And, man, it didn't last too long.
You went
after
faster and faster and faster each time.
Holy shit!
You got braver and braver.
I remember one time we were my buddy was just going way too fast around that neighborhood, and I think he was gonna go down there, but they must have hit the fire meter or something out there. Fire plug, and there was a bunch of mud, and he hit that mud, and I remember we punched a pole with it, and I just watched his nose hit the steering wheel and just bleed all over the place, and I thought, wow, I just thought we've been really lucky so far. This is our first real injury. We borrowed his brother's bike, and we would jump it off that thing.
It seemed like we got into a lot of car accidents. Well, I shouldn't really say accidents because most of them weren't involving another car. It was just bullshit like that we were out doing and
going too fast and not making a corner.
Yeah.
Open parking lot and hitting a light pole.
The worst was hitting
sliding and
one of those you know how guardrails are? Have you ever noticed how they go
Guardrails. Funny thing.
into the ground?
Yeah.
You know. Well, I don't know what they're guarding. I think they're guarding against staying on your fucking wheels. Because
Yeah.
when you hit one of those, it just
flings you over
flips
upside
your
down.
car
It
over.
does.
Yeah, so that happened
It's
at
guarding
least
you
twice.
from the nice
I
soft
mean,
grass. It wants to toss you.
I will say
upside
the
down
concrete
onto the
barriers
highway.
are pretty amazing. If you haven't hit one of those, I don't recommend hitting it head on. But if you can do like a glancing blow,
yeah.
it kind of picks you up and turns you back into the road. I don't know.
Hey there, little buddy.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. The angle on it will turn your front wheels back onto the road if you hit it.
Need to put an advisory before this section. Go back and edit this.
Yeah.
Kids, do not try this at home.
Or they'll learn something.
Yeah, you really do. Just
don't be a shithead.
So in Haltom City, right before Sylvania, I think it is. Maybe it's right after when you're on 121 heading towards downtown. The middle barrier, right there, dips down real low, and the westbound side is kind of higher than the eastbound side as it's come back this way. So my cousin was coming back from work one night, and a car just came over that barrier like it was no big deal at her, and didn't hit her head on, but hit her kind of the back quarter panel, spun her around and everything. Enough to scare her. And cops came and were like, "Oh yeah, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
A car can just skid right across into oncoming traffic like it's no problem." They're like, "Yeah, we have accidents here all the fucking time.
Happens all the time, but we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, we're not
going to
do anything about it because it's something with that guardrail there. Like as you're coming down, you kind of hit that guardrail, and the way it's sitting, it just kind of bounces you right over into oncoming traffic like it's no big deal."
Well, some lady got fucking creamed up there the other night.
At that spot?
No, but it was. I don't exactly know where it was because they had so much of 121 blocked off. It was between like Sylvania and probably Haltom Road. I mean, they had a lot of it blocked off. Some woman like popped over and I think people run across there, and. I think also, there's people just jump out in front of cars to end it all, but apparently she got hit, and then she was like laying in the highway, and she was still alive, and there was a guy that stopped and was trying to, get people to like, hey, there's a woman in the, and didn't really work out, and he was okay, but she got run over a few more times. So it was like a gruesome scene from what they said. But it was like we were wondering, like, what the fuck's going on? Like we had to weasel our way all the way, around. But
she didn't wind up like the dog on National Lampoon's Vacation, did she?
No. Well, I think she looked probably like the dog on National Lampoon's Vacation, but
wasn't drugged for.
I
7
know.
miles.
I don't know. I think she was pretty much broken up.
Sheesh.
But we
Come on, what's going on up here?
We saw it later. Yeah, like what the fuck? Come on.
I'm late. I'm gonna miss wrestling.
Yeah, Jesus. Monday Night SmackDown is starting, and yeah, we saw it on the
none of
news,
us endorse wrestling.
Like later on, I was like, oh fuck, that's what we saw.
None of us endorse wrestling.
Yeah.
Entertainment wrestling.
Only Texas Championship, World Class Championship Wrestling.
Vintage wrestling.
only
with Mark Lawrence and Bronco Lubitsch.
I only support backyard wrestling.
Oh,
that was a crazy phenomenon, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of unsightly, but crazy.
You see the video from a couple of weeks ago from some backyard wrestling event?
Man, combine that with the Juggalo thing.
Yeah,
it looks like the same dudes.
They are the same dudes. I think it is. I think that's what they do in the downtime between.
I think they have wrestling at the gathering of the Juggalos too.
Nice.
Yeah,
they probably do.
Makes sense.
They probably have
perfect.
Some naked titty wrestling and some like fat guy wrestling and some Juggalo style bullshit.
Cage death match.
Yeah,
there with baseball bats.
Brought to you by Jinkos.
Yeah. Brought to you by Jinkos and floppy titties.
Jinkos.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we're gonna have
Huh?
all of the Juggalos mad at us.
Oh, I love the Juggalos.
I love them too. That's
Yeah.
why
I
I
just
want to
hate
go to.
Insane Clown Posse. It's not good music. I'm
See, there's
sorry.
two things I really want to go to check out. It's
I'm trying to think how to build a mobile ring and take it out there.
there we go. I want to go to the Gathering of Juggalos, just see it in person. You know, it's kind of like going to see Stonehenge or something. You kind of just want to see how this works in person.
Right.
The other thing is Rocklahoma,
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
the one they have just north of the border here, where it's just 4 days of old '80s hair metal
Yeah. Yeah.
acts and stuff, and Jackal, like we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, Jackal's.
I want to go see how that works. I want to go see how how everybody gets along in this
You wanna s-
environment and who shows up for this, and which I can probably figure out who shows up for Rocklahoma, but
Clutch is
you
a
know-
regular up there. It's not. They're a good act.
yeah, Clutch is good.
It'd be interesting, like you do a front of the house and a back of the house, like you know,
just break it down. And
yeah,
shit.
you talk to the audience and all that whole side of Freakness, and then you talk to the bands and all those, see what Jesse James Dupree is up to, in
Yeah.
his spare time.
Does he still tour with a car he pulls around with him that he can cut in half?
Does he endorse
Cut parts
Steel?
off. Yeah.
Does he endorse McCullough,
Craftsman.
Husqvarna?
Husqvarna, yeah.
There's so many different.
Maybe we could go to the Gathering of the Juggalos. We could capture and tag and cam a couple of them and watch them as they forget they got the cam on them and start mingling.
There you go. Yeah.
Treat it as a zoological study.
We could put GPS trackers and see where they go afterwards and how they migrate.
Right?
I think you're
Their-
on to
their
something.
pattern.
I'm thinking cammed GoPro 'em.
They've done so many,
like this.
just like regular documentaries of the Gathering of the Juggalos. This is a whole new take.
We
and
could
a
all
whole
sit around
new,
like this,
point
like
of
live,
view.
like PD Live or whatever. We're looking in on Bonzo here, and he's
Yeah.
Bonzo.
him and his partner Sugar Bear aren't doing too good. Seems that one of them's about to retire for the evening.
And the other one just wants to party.
He's
Keep
drank
screaming
2
more
bottles
drugs.
of Boone's Farm. Man.
Shit.
And too much.
Yeah, one of them got drunk and one of them snorted a bunch of coke, and now they can't hang out.
And their tent's not set up.
Yeah, of
They're
course
totally
not.
screwed.
Fucked.
Totally screwed.
So, I think you're in this. I don't know who's all in this thread chat thing we had going on today, but the what they're showing this weekend at the Haltom Theater.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
I'm very interested in it too. It's a documentary called "Everything Is A-OK." They've been talking about it for a
I think
while.
I've heard of that.
It's like a DFW punk documentary. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just assuming it's going to be like, Zeros and.
It says
like,
from the 70s to the 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Is
Okay,
is
cool.
what it's going to cover.
Well, I hope they talk about Zeros and all that shit because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's where are we? Oh, we're in North Richland Hills. I thought we were at my house, and I'm like, oh, right over there, up on Lancaster, kind of by where Beach and Lancaster kind of roll through each other over there. There's just a little block of buildings, and the building's the same, but that's where that little punk rock club was. It was like in the 70s. It was
It's up there where it says like there's a recording studio or some shit right there, or
I'm
something
not
that says
sure.
recording. Across from across the street from the 7-Eleven.
It is across the street from the 7-Eleven, and it's up just a little ways. It's weird. It's got like this little. It's like off to the side. It's like a little side road, but it's just like a little triangle that kind of wraps around, and it's just the end of the building right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll talk about it. I mean, that was
I hope so.
way before my time. I was 5 years old when that was going on, but there's some of those like we've run into people at Methinks shows like the Fort Worth Cats guys and like some of those older folks that come out. I shouldn't say older; they're just a little bit older than us, but they were all around during that time, and where they all came from. So.
I guess this screening is a. I don't know if they're going to do a Q&A at it or whatever, but it's the everybody director and
cast and crew or something.
Cast and crew event.
See, Marlon wasn't sure if it was only for the cast and crew or if it was like you're saying, like like a Q&A. But we were just gonna probably try to roll up there anyway.
I'm gonna try to roll up there.
Yeah.
I want to check it out. It's
Me
at
too.
6:00.
Yeah,
on Sunday at the Haltom Theater. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
For the one thing I went and looked up and saw said that it made it sound like it was open to everybody.
Okay.
Because I guess this weekend they're going around. They're doing a screening in Dallas.
Yeah, at the Texas Theater, I think.
And then they're going down to Austin, and then to Fort Worth or Haltom City.
Nice.
So yeah, that'll be a cool way to spend this Sunday.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a movie at the Haltom Theater. I can remember when there was a porno drive-in on the corner of Northeast 28th and Beach Street.
We were talking about that.
Did we talk about that last time?
Who was...
Still looking for that fucking picture.
Maybe we talked about it last week, yeah.
One of our buddies has he took the coolest picture of the marquee. There's the sign, and you can see like the back of the screen. It was like the thing that was on the road that, would like attract people when it was a regular drive-in.
Well, Haltom City had two.
Pete's Dragon.
They had the one right here on Belknap, Grapevine Highway, once it turns to Belknap, just past Carson where the rocket ship is for propane. There's one right across the street from there where those apartments are. Because that's where I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time.
Oh, yeah. I saw that at Bel Air.
1981.
Bel Air was great.
Mm-hmm.
81.
No, I saw Star Wars at the drive-in. That was my first movie. But it was Star Wars and Orca.
Orca.
Orca. Yeah.
I don't remember Orca.
Wow.
Orca was like, I was kind of scared as a kid, but I also just fell asleep like after about the first 15 minutes, I think, because it's a double feature, and I'm 5 or 6, something like that.
That I think that was a double feature that night, but I remember watching all of Raiders of the Lost Ark, maybe falling asleep during something else. I don't remember what it was.
The Coyote's good, but you really have to you have to go on those 2 weeks in the fall and the 2 weeks in the spring.
Yeah,
that are
for it to be nice.
Yeah, because I've been in the winter and it's like you just end up turning on your car and running your heater, and then you turn it off and it gets cold and you turn it on, and it's the same with the fucking air conditioning. You can't even turn your car off, so it just seems like there's just a bunch of exhaust and shit.
That Raiders of the Lost Ark was good stuff. I remember when I first watched it, I got the same feeling as when you're at Six Flags about to get on a new ride or something. It kind of gave me that same sense, stimulated your senses like that,
They don't make good kids adventure movies like that anymore.
Right?
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you count Shark Boy and Lava Girl or whatever.
Bigfoot and Wild Boy. Yeah, they really don't. I can remember that scene of him running. The whole shit in the first one with the boulder and the throw me the idol, I'll throw you the whip, and then
he's running for the plane.
Throw him the whip.
We're all holding our damn breath.
And they're just he's just fucking hauling ass, and it was like, wow, this is crazy. What is this movie?
When you saw those natives, though, some of them would have caught him. When you're watching that, they were bearing down on him way faster than that.
Yeah, they totally would have caught him.
There's a couple of them that were really fast.
Yeah, I would think a bunch of native guys that are on a specific diet and have lots of exercise and shit
and
all
know
the
the jungle.
Yeah,
and know where to go and have their own
They had to
trails.
take a second to get the darts out, get set.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went home and made a dart gun and started blowing it at
All
my
right.
sister. Seeing if I could, hey, run down the hall. Let me see if I can hit you.
Yeah, you got to get a bullwhip from somewhere now. Shit, where can I get one of those?
I like that we spend all the time talking about the natives and not the Nazis. That's pretty good. All the weird stuff. Like, you were kind of
the natives were scary.
The natives were scary. The Nazis weren't.
Yeah, not until the end when they started melting.
Yeah,
you know,
that's when she got crazy. I thought Belloc was kind of a cool guy there for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Well, he's slick.
he's very slick.
That one dude with the burned hand, he was a little creepy.
He was creepy.
You know, because you knew he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he acted like a real Nazi.
He did. Yeah, he that's what he.
Belloc was French though, wasn't he? And then just started
think
working
so.
for the Nazis.
He pulls out the thing. He's like, shh. And they're like, oh, and then it's a coat hanger.
Yeah.
The big guy by the plane, he's like, come on, like, we're really going to have to fucking do this?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm above this. I'm a professor.
Shit.
God.
And the classic swordsman, you know, he's like all badass.
All right.
And then he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
All ad-libbed.
And
Have you seen the documentary where the kids like started making shot for shot the whole movie?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love those. Some of those are so good.
Yeah.
The only scene they hadn't done was the one with the guy fighting them at the plane, and they ended up years later. This was like they were kids.
That was a
when
good
they started
story.
it, and like it's crazy. They did it every summer and filmed a little bit of it, and yeah, they eventually raised some money and built a replica of the plane, and then did the fight scene. And I mean, the movie's literally shot for shot, the whole movie.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was fun. It was on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Some of the
Good.
Zoom
Yeah.
movies this summer were kind of funny where everyone just got a part of the script and they did whatever they could do in their kitchen or at their
right,
house.
right.
You know,
Yeah, that was
Put a
great.
towel around their neck, put something on their head, and then
Yeah.
read the script and then read the next part. They went
missed
back
the
and
Fast
forth.
Times one. I didn't get
Oh
to.
man, I
It's-
caught a
it's
couple
still
of
up on
them.
YouTube.
That would have been
Is
a
it?
great one.
Right, right.
I watched that one, almost all of that one. I watched all of the Days of Confused one.
Right.
Oh, they did a Days Confused too.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, I didn't
did a
see
script
any of those.
reading, got everybody back together. Almost everybody. Ben Affleck wasn't there. He was somewhere with the kids that didn't have good Wi-Fi.
Oh, man, his character's one of the fucking best. Fuck O'Banion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw a couple of them where they just had oddball actors picking up the scripts and just doing their own versions of it and
right on.
stuff, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Good
Who
fresh
was
fresh look at some of
Huh.
that stuff.
Yeah, I
oh,
didn't
it was
see
what's
any
his
of that.
name that ended up playing Ben Affleck's part from that '70s show, Ashton Kutcher.
Oh,
gotcha.
okay.
He stepped in and did his
Gotcha.
roles, and then he did some other roles, like he did the black teacher in the junior high. Man, 25 of you going to the
Right.
jungle, or 50 of you going to the jungle. 25 of you ain't coming back. Like he picked up little roles like that. And the guy at the convenience store that's selling
Right.
the beer and everything, and
The
talking to the pregnant lady,
She's
smoking and
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. You be sure to eat plenty of greens.
Here's a little bit more money for your pocket.
You 18. Yes, sir.
Just graduated.
All right. Those are the good old days, man.
Oh,
Just
I was driving down Long Avenue, I don't know, last week or something. It was not too long ago, and I was going right by the two. Of course, these places do not exist anymore, but the buildings are still there. But there's two places where you could go and buy booze. When I was a kid, the Shorthorn. It was called Shorthorn Store. I don't remember what the other one was, but it was always just fucking hilarious to me. Because we would walk up to the counter with 2 cases of Schaefer,
Ridiculous amount of beer.
fucking 18 bottles of Boone's Farm, and
For like
30
$3
bottles of
yeah.
Mad Dog. And it's like, this is the shit a fucking 15-year-old buys.
Mhm.
This isn't the shit a 21-year-old
no
buys.
purple passion. in there.
There's probably all
A
you
couple bottles
cause-
of Strawberry
because
Hill.
you get that,
Yeah,
you get that
yeah.
order,
Yeah.
and
Some
fucking
Bartles
have to-
and James.
have to get all this shit. and it's like, fuck, I just remember them, it's like these people, like, there's no way they could have ever thought that I was anywhere close to the legal drinking age, and of course, half the people that went there weren't.
Yeah,
But
but you had
I-
$35 cash.
I did. Hell yeah.
I had a
and
method.
I knew where to go.
I had a method to it. I would have them get cases out of the back, and I would stack it up, and then I would just give them the cash. And then if they asked for anything out that idea, I'd be like, oh, I don't got it or whatever. But it was always a big pain in the ass for them to
put
go
everything
put the
back.
3 cases in the
Right.
back. So usually they were like, all right, just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's like he just bought enough, beer to get, 20 kids drunk.
Yeah.
We had a place over there off of. I was hanging out with an Arlington crowd in high school, and they place over there off East Chase and 30. Little convenience store that's back up in the shopping center, and that was a place we'd always go pick up stuff because the guy in there was 18.
Oh, right.
He's just out of high school or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, y'all get whatever you want.
Yeah. Fuck it.
And we just go in there and just buy beer all the time and be like, all right, yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after that it seemed like we had older friends that were 21 at the end, and then it was like, it doesn't really matter anymore. But
I went to high school in Nebraska, and across the river in Iowa, they had just changed the drinking age to 21, but everyone was grandfathered in that was still under that. So they really weren't serious about IDing and stuff for the next 2 or 3 years. So you would just take a big order and then head over to the supermarket there and load up on beers and wines and whatever else you were getting. And they hardly ever, never had any trouble over there. And then, as it turned, 2 years later, when it turned to all those, people were out of the system and all turned 21 themselves, they got super strict on all that stuff.
Yeah, there was a 3-year period, where those people that were 18 were grandfathered in.
Oh yeah.
That was like my friend's older brother.
I was in high school when that happened. My first wife was when we dated in high school.
She was a little older.
She was a little older, so she had turned 18 and could buy, and then they changed it to 21, and she could still buy. So
y'all were set.
Yep.
Just couldn't break up.
Not for 3 more years.
Yeah, because there goes your booze.
That's it.
And they sold alcohol over there till 2 a.m. when Nebraska shut down at 1.
Oh, right.
So there's a lot of times we'd catch last call, and then everyone just haul ass, get on their bikes and haul ass over to Council Bluffs, go across the bridge, and we'd all get up at 1 or 2 places over there, get together, and catch last call over there, race back.
Was there a percentage difference?
Percentage?
Yeah, alcohol percentage difference.
I don't
Texas,
think,
Oklahoma has one. It's stupid.
I don't think Iowa has a 3-2 beer.
Back then they did.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real pain in the ass because if you go to Oklahoma and go to any convenience store, it's 3-2. You have to go to a liquor store.
Yeah.
And then it's not. It's illegal for them to have it cold.
Yeah.
You have to
gotta
buy
be warm.
it warm.
But I think all that has now changed too because there's been so many craft breweries popping up there.
Yeah, you can't have that shit warm.
And
It's gotta be refrigerated.
It's hard to regulate stuff that can be in a convenience store versus a
right.
Because some of their stuff may be low enough, but
I know
it could change in the can too.
Being up in Canada, we were way out in Tofino, which is like halfway up Vancouver Island on the west coast, and they would charge more for the beer if it was cold. Like you could buy and it was expensive because Tofino's in the middle of fucking nowhere. So they're either having to truck it over the mountains in there or ship it in there. So we were, it was like a 6-pack of Pilsners, tall boys, which were like they're kind of like a blue ribbon, Canadian version. Nothing special, and it was like $15 for a 6-pack of tall boys, and then it was $2 more, $17 if you wanted them cold.
Yeah, you're in Canada where you can just throw them outside for a little bit.
It's like, holy fuck.
Leave them in your car for a half hour.
Yeah.
Shit.
Shit.
You know what we don't have much around here is the packaged liquor. It's not like a part of our drinking kind of culture. When you go up north, you go to Nebraska, you go to Iowa, you go to the Midwest, you go to drink till 1, 2 in the morning, and then you're like, I'm gonna tab out and go ahead and load me 6 up. I'm taking them home. I'm not quite drunk enough yet. Taking this party on the
Well, the
road.
COVID's
Yeah.
definitely introduced that down here.
Yeah.
You know,
Starting to,
as an
yeah.
essential business.
Yeah.
They do
Right.
all of that too.
I guess they
true.
do that again, huh?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if you went by a brew pub or something, that's really the only way you can get.
I've caught
Get
myself
by it
getting
normally.
frustrated like a dozen times the last
Well,
6 months, and
we
then be
were
like,
Wyoming. I know there was a couple times they went to the bar
there's this
and
damn
bought
crap going on.
beer up there
Everyone's
at the
frustrated.
bar to take home. So
Take
You're not
home,
missing
yeah.
out on much. There's not shit going on.
Right.
Texas
know
is
where
so
else they do
weird. We're
that.
in this, just everything we've got. Laws that concern alcohol,
Oh, the
beer,
blue laws. The blue
all
laws that are
those, all
still
the blue
hanging
laws,
around.
all of them.
Like, why are they
are
still
weird.
hanging around?
Yeah.
Because we live in, I don't know, the South and the Bible Belt, I guess.
Because everyone would show up to church drunk, guys.
right.
If you're not governed like that, everyone will show up to church drunk.
It's better than hungover, isn't it?
Hell, they gave us booze at my church growing up. You know, they fed us wine, Jesus juice, and then they touched our nether regions. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna
But
say,
they-
where'd you do?
they did
you
give
go to
us-
Neverland?
Yeah,
Is that where you went to
Neverland Church, Neverland Church of Space. I went. You know, I grew up
Secrets
Catholic.
revealed.
I grew up Catholic,
Layla
so
Beer.
they gave you the wine and the, you know, they gave you the blood and the body, which was delicious, by the way.
The unleavened bread or whatever.
Yeah, I love the body. I love eating the body of Jesus.
Good God. And on that note,
they sell them. Do they sell those as snacks, like unleavened bread, like
You've been in there.
sociables,
You're in there. You've been waiting.
A 6-pack.
Yeah.
chicken and a
They
biscuit?
keep you waiting for. They keep you waiting for a while to get it. And you're like, okay, now I'm really ready to eat this fucking thing.
And they won't let you eat them with their hands. You gotta
put it on my
Next-
tongue.
That seems a bit weird.
another. Could you put two, like stack a couple?
Yeah.
The last couple of funerals, my thing is when everyone starts praying, is to look around and see who's not praying.
It's
See who else isn't participating, and then me and them kind of have a moment.
right.
You know,
I'm
hey,
the same.
hey, what's up,
going.
dude?
I'm the same way. I've said all I can say. Oh, hey, what's up?
Then it gets awkward later, like post funeral when y'all are just all hanging out talking. He walks up,
Right.
so I saw you not praying along with me. So what's with that? Weird way to strike up a conversation over not praying at the same time.
Yeah, we're meeting at the Atheist Lodge later. I just wanted to hand you my card.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Oh,
a
cool.
non-church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Maybe you're one of us.
This is why I don't go to church, so I don't have to go meet with a bunch of people. Learn about things. I want to learn. No more learning.
Well, boys, it's been fun.
What time is
Good
it?
time.
Is it time?
It's 11.
Time to go.
It's time to say goodbye.
Is that magnetic?
Yeah, I got a little magnet thing on the back. Just-
How does that? Have they?
It got you talking about it.
Have
How
they
magnetic
devised
is
a
that?
way? Like I come from the time when you didn't put magnets near computing things,
that is true.
but they fixed that now.
I guess so. It
Is
it
that-
doesn't mess it up.
No,
Is
just
that
makes them mess
magnetic
up the
on
rest.
your? Is that a hard drive that's
It's-
magnetic onto your?
That's Velcro.
Oh, okay.
I started
Yes.
doing that on my old one, on this one on flights. And so,
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
because you don't have any space for an
It's just
external hard
gonna
drive while
fucking
you're,
fall
there's
out.
all shit and cords and stuff. So it's like, I got to find a place to put this. And I just put some Velcro on my lid. And then all my hard drives have Velcros on the back. So you just,
Oh, that's a
It'll
good
work.
idea.
yeah.
I went full. Oh shit.
Velcro's friendly.
I went full Dropbox. I mean, I don't really. I won't pull it up when I'm working. I guess if I need something, I'll go on a little thumb drive. But I've just had too many of those hard drives go tits up on me, and fuck.
I don't have,
Fuck yeah, I would like to
there's
work.
nowhere I can go to space I need
Yeah, I bet.
for all
So
the
we've got
stuff
the
at
Echo
home.
Lab recordings on my hard drive. I know that for sure. So I got to figure out what I can download it on, or if nothing else, just turn on an old computer that doesn't need to download a dozen things for it to pop up, and then to
pull them
turn-
off.
then send it to somebody else real quick, or
Yeah, I could put them on Dropbox and just store them
right.
and so they're somewhere backed up.
Until Dropbox goes out of business.
Yeah.
And they just tell you the night before,
Uh,
you need to pull all your
download
shit
all your
off. We're
stuff.
going out of business.
We're just about to drop
Let's
everything.
hope not.
You
Yeah,
have
'cause shit,
24 hours.
all of our work shit's like, Star Conspiracies shit's all up there. Pussy House shit's all up there. It's like, I mean, I'm sure the
I've
whole
got-
world's shit is up there.
I tried to go for years, balancing, when Dropbox got started, it's like, tell a friend, we'll give you half a gig, Were you in that whole rigmarole
No,
when they first started?
no. It took me a while to it took me like a few hard drives crashing and losing everything before I really learned my lesson.
Had to
So
redo a bunch of work.
yeah,
So-
and now it's kind of become a little bit of a de facto standard with like some of the
Everything.
jobs I've worked
Yeah.
with. So it's easier to share those files.
Well, when they first started out, they were like, tell a friend, we'll give you half a gig of space for free. Up to 10 gig or 15 gig, one of them.
Okay.
But I had maxed it out, just sending invites out and getting people to sign up. Boom. I was like, hell, I signed up for like 3 of them just to get, bam, here's you a gig and a half. But once I tried to go for years just floating around with that 10 gig. And it finally got to the point
right.
now shooting video and stuff. And
You'd work with what you could and pull it down. When you were done
yeah,
with it
like
and
I would put client galleries up, be
Yeah.
like, all right, you get them all pulled off, right? And then pull them down.
Yeah.
And pull them up, just constantly swapping shit out.
Right.
But then now it's like, oh, you're shooting in 4K and you got to edit this down and move this around. And when you're done, the file, they want the project file plus the rendered file. So you're like, oh, well, 3 minutes rendered is going to be 300 meg. And then the project file is going to be somewhere like, 200 gig. Well, I can't fucking fit that on Dropbox anymore. I finally had to get their service, the terabyte service.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
move
see
stuff
some
around.
of the files and I'm just like, how the fuck is this folder like 50 gig? It's just a drawing of Willie Nelson and like some other shit, and then like I start looking at it and it's like, it's all the files and all the iterations. And
Yeah.
shit.
That's what kind of blew me away. I remember when Photoshop files were like, just a couple of 100K.
Hmm.
When I first started working with it, now you're like, I'll be working on something and be like, your hard drive's getting critically low. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
We work with like multiple gig Illustrator files and shit, like, and that's all mathematics. So like the whole fucking artboard, the whole thing's filled up with artboards with shit everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, if you change anything, you're gonna have to wait. Wait for it to catch up. Computer talk.
So this is a big ad for Dropbox. So go get Dropbox.
Or whatever storage.
You prefer to use.
Yeah.
It did, like, for a little bit, I know Google Photo was allowing anybody to upload unlimited, but they turned that off. And I think, if I remember right, I read last week or the week before that if you're using that service, you need to get all your shit off now.
Oh.
No
Because they're fixed to turn it off because it was not enough. And then Amazon, if you're a Prime member, they offer unlimited storage space. And then they have a
You
whole
have to
separate
maintain
area
your-
for photos. So you have a whole just photo area for storage in the cloud. But yeah, you have to remain a Prime member. And you have to hope Amazon never goes out of business, which, what's the possibility of that?
I think I pay like $100. Maybe it's a year.
I think
It's not very much.
It's not
$100 a year for terabyte or
for Dropbox.
Mhm.
Yeah. But have you added up, like, do you have a Creative Cloud subscription?
Yeah.
And you add that to it?
Well,
So you got...
no, that's work.
They
That's-
pay for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's work. They pay for that.
I started adding up my subscriptions the other day and was like, oof, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
can I get rid of?
I think I could get away with having a few.
Yeah.
A few, like 3. That's as low as I can
Would
go.
you get Adobe Editor on a disc and it had everything on it?
Yeah,
Oh, I still have all
everything.
those discs.
all
And
the
now you
old
have to,
Adobe
like,
suites,
and there's
everything
no
on it.
Disc, and you have to like do everything. You have to do their subscription.
I would always get my old companies to like, oh, give me the disc, and I worked in the IT department, like as a graphic designer, so I could get the disc, and then I just had the disc, and I could load it on any computer I wanted to, and that's what I did. That's how I had Photoshop for all those years, and
I was
all that shit back in the day, and everyone
laughing.
else.
right.
I was laughing the other day. Remember all the software originally you had to have a key fob for?
Oh yeah, dongles.
Dongles.
Yeah.
Dongles to make for it to work.
Yeah.
The original Pro Tools and Logic were that way.
Authorware. I used Authorware and all that.
Yep.
All that shit. Flash.
Oh, I forgot Flash had a dongle.
Yeah, it was all that
Macromedia crap.
yeah, Macromedia. That's right. Dreamweaver and all that shit. Mm-hmm.
Which I just before we started the show, I had a pop-up come up that said your Flash will no longer be valid at the end of this year. Do you want to go ahead and uninstall it now?
Yeah.
Wow.
How the mighty have fallen.
How the mighty have fallen. I remember seeing my first Flash websites being like, wow, that's magical.
Yeah.
Holy shit, how they do that. Moving, stuff's happening. Nope. Not anymore. You don't need all that shit. Here's a video.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's still a smaller file size than all that Flash shit you built. Well, boys, it's been fun.
Yeah, it has been.
Thanks for having us.
I wish y'all hurry up and get done recording so I'd have some stuff to listen to.
We'll have some stuff here pretty soon. We're gonna wrap up the ones that we started, just to have some tunes to fuck with and start some new ones after that.
Well, I'm excited.
Le Bon Temps Roulette or whatever they say in Czechoslovakia.
Oh, I thought you were speaking Creole.
That was
something like that.
Isn't that where the Creoles are from?
From Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Czechoslovakian Creoles.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They got gators and
Yugoslavia
some
and
gumbo.
Oh, so good. If you haven't had Slavic gumbo.
Slavic gumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
I hope
we need to go. Knives by Nick. You go get your subscription on your YouTube.
Yeah, made by Nick.
YouTube, that'll,
Knives made by Nick.
Knives made by Nick.
And you want to promote anything?
No. My other bands are shitty.
The shittiest band.
It's true. But you have Pussy House Propaganda too.
We do have that. Yeah. And, it would be nice to sell a Vorvon album or two. Since I think we had our record release and then it was pretty much COVID after that. Immediate. So, yeah.
Which I need to get one from you.
Oh, you don't?
So I'll buy one.
Shit, I would have brought one if I knew.
I'll purchase one from you.
I'll get you one. I'll get you a deal.
All right. Sounds good.
Buy 2, get 15 free.
Sweet.
Buy a guitar, start a band, save the future of rock and roll.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do right now. Right? Might as well be creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start a band.
Yeah.
Fight to ensure a future for rock and roll.
True that.
It's bleak, but there are hardcore rock and roll soldiers out there fighting on. It's good to know.
And y'all are leading the battle, front line. The generals in the fight. All right, we're out of here, boys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
And that is that.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, stream. Goodbye in the stream.
I always forget